Good day, everybody. I should say, good evening, everybody, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from, or good morning or good afternoon. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of DYOR Live, doing another special session of Evening with the Boys here. We like to call it, well, we don't know what we're going to call it yet, but we're doing an evening session, trying to capture the bull run here, trying to capture some more viewers, try to get a little bit of different crowd. AI Wolf is in the house in the comments suggesting that we should have done a spaces so we could all talk amongst each other. We're going to try that one night too. But right now we're trying the show here to see if we can crank up the viewer count and see what we can do on that mighty channel of Rumble there. Let me know. Obviously, always give us some feedback. DYOR After Hours, says Derek B. I wonder if I can make this work right. Oh, there it is. It is working right. Anyway, I've had Pedro's mic on mute while he gets his screen on. But now is the time where I will say good evening to my co-host and friend extraordinaire, Mr. Pedro Garcia.
Hey guys, how you doing over there? It's good to see you. Glad that every one of you guys are here with us. Shout out to our people out there on YouTube. Shout out to our people over there on Mr. Musk, and shout out to those who are on the Zuckerberg's area that we're streaming, and our good old friend and actually adjacent friend to us, the CEO of Rumble. Thank you for letting us.
Yes, the CEO of
Friend
Rumble. Thank you very
adjacent.
much for
Thank you.
for
Friend
helping us out
adjacent.
here today and allowing us
Yeah,
to
thank you
stream
so
on your
much.
wonderful channel. Broadcasting on
Absolutely.
YouTube, on X, on Kick. But we're focusing on the Rumble crowd tonight, trying to get you guys up to date on what's going on in the crypto world. Not a lot of crypto channels over there, so we thought we'd bring some crypto news and news talk and how it relates to what's going on with the U.S. government transition right now. Thought that would be a good topic to discuss tonight. Lots of news in the crypto space here, for sure. Anyway, let's get to the basics here. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. My co-host Pedro Garcia is the crypto chart analyst here, bringing you the technical analysis of crypto. I bring the color commentary and the fundamental analysis of things and the general just gut feeling of, man, that one stinks. Or, man, we're going to the moon on that one. Pedro's got to temper my expectations by saying, Tom, there's no liquidity there. It's going the other direction. Anyway, so we're a daily crypto talk show. And we're looking forward to interaction. We are actually a live show, not like most shows on Rumble that are live to a select few and then it's recorded and edited and sent out. We do it live, so that means we'd like some interaction from you guys. If you could do us a big solid and give us a like, thumbs up, and drop some comments in the great comment machine. We'll answer them. We'll go over projects. We'll talk about news things you guys want to talk about, and bring our extraordinary knowledge and edutainment. We educate and entertain at the same time here. And on that note, if a couple of you over on YouTube or Rumble could drop a few comments just to make sure I got a little different setup here tonight, trying to get the couch, the casting couch going again. No, there's no casting couch going again. So I want to be able to be in two spots. Got to test that comment machine, make sure it's running. Anyway, as we always do, we start off every show BSing a little bit about Bitcoin. Pedro, what happened to Bitcoin today and what went on?
Yes, let's
there?
go ahead and go over some of this crazy stuff called Bitcoin. We've had it was kind of sad that Mr. Powell, who runs the Fed, I was about to say the SEC, made some comments about we're having a banger up economy and we don't need any extra help with a Fed interest rate drop. And so he's looking. So it was actually one of those things that little comment basic kind of put a downer supposedly on Bitcoin. But the truth is I'm looking at like, hey, dude, like I said, this is an intraday time change right here. We saw this thing push up, right? We made our money. We talked about this morning, right? As we this afternoon when we hit this zone, we came up here, expected to go up a little higher, but we were really looking primarily for a 1-to-1 ratio of our zone right here to go right here. And so around this time I said, guys, be looking to take your profit up around here. And if we go higher, you're good. But remember, it takes 60% of that well, that profit, so that if it comes back against you, you stay profitable. And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. It came back down, boom, and it looks like we're going to be going down here to the next level. So that 82, 169-ish area to that 81, 536 area is what I'm looking for, where we're going to come down, tap, tap, tap-a-roo, and we will probably be picking up a pretty good amount of volume here. And we got that 8-period moving average sitting here. Just kind of perusing through the Bitcoin metaverse here. And so it's definitely looking to be giving some orders here. So be looking for it to basically hit right here, maybe sell off down to this lower level, but really sitting in between that 84 to 82-ish area, 81-ish area. So looking forward to see it kind of pull up there. And it's real interesting because it's hearing now people are saying, oh, we had to sell off because of Powell's statement. And I was like, what are you talking about,
Had
Willis?
nothing. Had nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with it.
None.
Obviously, Powell is trying to throw a little shade on the concept that he is going to be fired when, or let's say, as they say, put on injured reserve, meaning he still gets to keep his job, but he won't get listened to. Anyway, we got some new YouTube followers here. We got Richard's brother, Dick's brother.
What's up, Richard's brother? I love
Thanks for
that.
joining us. That's a great name. That's a great name. We'll have fun
Dick's
with that one.
brother. I want to say that's Dick's brother right there.
And Left House Crypto Art says,
Oh, what's up?
Richard's brother, no
What's
way.
up?
Is that you for real? No way. Richard Hart's brother. I can't believe it. It's Richard Hart's brother.
Dude, what's up,
I wonder
Richard
if he's
Hart? Good
hiding
to
in
see you,
Finland
buddy.
Also.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's
Shut
Richard's
up.
brother. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Hope you caught our little description of what kind of show we are. Daily crypto talk show. We have a lot of fun here. We do it a little bit nicer than everyone else, trying to bring in a good crowd. And Pedro is, I don't know what Pedro's doing.
Just being a goofball.
But one of the things that, as Dr. J, our loyal viewer here, will point out, is that Pedro has long hair, and generally Bitcoin pumps up for a short-term pump when he puts his hair up. So pay attention for that buy signal that happens. And anyway, Left House Crypto Arts, that's a great name. I love that too. No fucking way.
Yeah, I love it.
Amazing hero. Oh, this is amazing. We got heroes in our audience. Well, thanks for joining us,
Dude, I
both
love
of you.
heroes,
We
man.
really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the show. But Pedro, getting back to Bitcoin real quick here.
Absolutely.
Let's show that chart again. I forgot to take the Bitcoin
Absolutely.
thing off your face while we were talking
It is
there.
okay. It is okay. I'm cool with it.
My green screen isn't working great here today. The concept that we want to talk about that everyone wants to talk about is, when is it going to get to 100,000? That's a big mental push area.
Yeah.
Get it to 100,000. It's a big thing. It's like, a big anniversary, or 50th wedding anniversary, or something like that. We got to get there. Been working hard for years. We know it takes volume to get there. It takes buyers. It takes people wanting to sell. People have to sell into those buys to do that. Not a lot of people wanting to sell lately. They're wanting to hold. Everyone's thinking Michael Saylor's going to come in and buy another $2 billion worth and pump that price again. They're thinking the U.S. is going to start buying and pump that price even longer. And so there's not, in my mind, it doesn't seem that there's a lot of sellers. So we got to get it up there. What's it going to take outside? What's it going to take? Tons of volume? Is it going to take speculation? What is it?
Well, I think we're going to see a couple things. One, we're going to see the shenanigans that we always see with institutions, right? Where they're going to kind of push it up to push it down. And so I think, or what they'll do is they will let it consolidate, and just consolidation is almost painful than losing money for most people, because people would typically want to see the market move. By the way, shout out to our new people over there in Rumble. Thanks for coming in today. We really appreciate you. I know that's kind of just transition, but I see we just had a peek in the,
go on with the topic.
viewership. All right. But just thank you for being here. And we are interactive. Real quick, we are an interactive show. If you have any questions about Bitcoin, what you guys want to see, what you guys want to check out, please ask the questions. Okay. That's what we're here for. I want to make sure that you guys understand, you have a good understanding of what most likely is going to happen. When I say something, that's really important to me that you understand. So please ask me questions. To the guys over at Rumble. A lot of other stuff people already know about.
Pedro.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
I set you up with the best short click.
You
I set it up with an
it
explanation. What's it going to take? And
Yeah.
you talked about.
I screwed it all up.
I know.
Here, okay. Okay,
Pedro,
listen, what
Pedro,
we're gonna do,
No,
listen,
no,
what we're gonna
re-rack
do
that.
is,
Pedro, what's it going to
all right,
take? That $100,000 spot for Bitcoin. Obviously, it's going to take volume. It's going to take sellers. It's going to take buyers.
yeah,
But really, people want to sell. They have to want to sell to meet the demand from the buyers. And
absolutely.
people don't want to sell because they want to hold. They're afraid Michael Saylor's going to come in and buy another $2 billion worth. They're afraid the U.S. government's going to buy a quadrillion dollars worth. They want to hold it. The only people that are selling really are the miners because they got to pay for their expenses in mining. What's going to take it to get it to that magical $100,000 mark?
Two things. One, we're either going to see the institutions come in with their normal shenanigans, where they basically just go through and they legitly just keep it at where it's at. It does it. I mean, it's really when a market's just going sideways, it can drive people absolutely nuts. Almost worse than literally losing money. They'll just get out of position because they want to see either lose money or make money. They hate sitting that. So a lot of times, what you'll see with institutions is they will can consolidate it. It potentially could consolidate for maybe a week or two right up in this level here between these 80,000 and 90,000 until people just start selling, and then the institutions come in and can push it up. So that's one of the tactics we might see with institutions. And additionally to that, if we start to see major where we see it sell off and buy back, sell off and buy back, sell off and buy back, where we see a bunch of demand wicks, or i.e., as what I call them, buyer wicks. That's really them, again, reestablishing new institutional levels there, where then it will then continue up. So it all just depends on what we're going to see with how they're going to bring in more sellers. And so either way, I think both are a good tactic simply because our people will know what they're doing. And so as they bring it down, I'll be like, buy right here. Well, obviously I can't tell you what to do, but this is where I'm going to be buying and looking to buy. So those are the things that we're definitely looking to see. Are they going to hold it here and consolidate, or are they going to drop it? So it's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yeah.
It's something that I've been looking forward to, that $100,000 mark. Our good friend AI Wolf has been predicting for a couple of months, not from a technical analysis like you do, but more from a kind of, well, as he explained to me, predicting by looking at the charts, kind of a few other things that he works on. And he's been calling November 15th for $94,000 for, I don't know, months. And we're right before it went to $93,000. Tomorrow it's 94,000. And what you were telling us earlier, as you always do, it's got to go up to go down. It's got to go down to go up. And is the chart telling us that $94,000 is in the wheelhouse for tomorrow?
Is it in the tea leaves? Is it in the coins? Is it in, well, the stars? And the truth is, we're going up today. And since we're going up in the evening, we might see it fall down into the morning. So if we go down, if we go up into the evening, where this is going to be the Asian market, and then we see it go up and then come down into the London Open. So they're going up to go down to go up.
Right.
Most likely we're going to see that happen. But if we see it continue, okay, where we see the London Open as well as whereas the Asian Open goes up, and then we see the London Open taking even higher, what's going to happen is you're then going to see a sell-off, most likely with the US market. So it all depends on what the chart is going to do. I can't, Tom, you know me. I'm not going to give you a straight answer per se.
No,
because
I understand that completely. But sometimes you look at the chart and you're able to say there's a pile of liquidity down here, so it's more likely to head that way or not.
There is a pile of liquidity.
I would love to be able to sit up here and say, our boy AI Wolf called it in March, just for the sake of saying that those are our viewers.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, absolutely. I think it is possible. All right. I mean, we saw Bitcoin. We saw Bitcoin do 15% in a day, right? So we could see it again push up to that 94 area. Very easy. If they really want, there are some shorts going on right here, but overall, I think there are more buyers down here than we will see it. And so they're going to get it in one way. Either they're going to consolidate it and drive people nuts, or they're going to just go in with a bunch of sell orders, drop the market, and then come in and buy it as it pushes up. So
All
it's
right.
going to be real interesting to
All
see.
right, I think we got a good description of what Bitcoin's going to do. Thanks for that, Pedro. Let's change subjects and talk to the crowd for a little bit here. Apparently, J Crypto has a couple of personas here. He says we need to get the market back to 3 trillion. 3 trillion. Well, Bitcoin's pushing 1.8 billion or 1.8 trillion, something like that. Also, Jeff Ledger, thank you very much. Shout out to the Genu crowd. Good evening, guys. Are the late streams going to be the norm? No, they're not going to be the norm, but we're doing a couple of them here and there, especially while Mrs. Striking's out of town and doesn't demand that her husband do husbandly-like things with her in the evening. And so we're trying to get some shows in here to capture a little bit larger audience, perhaps a little different audience. Already today we've got Left House Crypto Arts and Richard's brother in here as new viewers. Thank you very much. So we're just giving it a shot. Pedro and I love to talk, and we've been doing so much talking later. I went and took a nap this afternoon, slept for 2 hours straight, which I never do. Anyway, J Crypto saying November 15th, baby, for, I keep leaving this off here. And let's see, Tom, to be fair, AI said 94K on the 15th, give or take a day or two. All right, well, I'll give him that. I'll give him that for sure. Saving
definitely.
Crying Cats. Markets are red, I'm crying. There's a good name, Saving Crying Cats. I love that name.
That's actually a
Thanks
good
for
name.
Joining us. Really appreciate it.
How'd you hear about us, by the way?
Yeah, you new guys. Let us know how you heard about us.
Yeah. Richard's brother. I want to call you Dick's brother, or Richard Hart's brother. Good to see you, man. Tell us how that. I got to know about that name. That's a unique name. That's an awesome name. Love to. Also, guys, while you're there over on YouTube, please hit that heart button, that like button, and share button. We did not do this, so please hit the heart, like, and share button on every social platform that is watching us. That, guys, helps us so much. We are a small channel, and we are bringing to you quality information. We're going to be going over real quality trades and good news, or bad news, or indifferent news that is going to pertain to the markets, and really kind of how to see what's actually going to happen. We're going to be going over legislation, news that we're going to be talking about today, and a few other things that we're just kind of going, okay, what's the deal there? Come on, son, right? So one of those aspects we're going to be talking about today as well. So with that, these news articles typically will get us in trouble because we talk about real issues, and YouTube doesn't necessarily like it. So we need you guys and your help to hit that share button. It helps us out a lot. It lets the algorithm know that we are the bomb diggity, no doubt. Shout out to us. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Dude, I don't even,
Hey, Pedro, I just realized, you know, you've been having trouble with the comment machine. I just realized that I think I've been sending the wrong, poorly formatted link. And that's probably
that
why.
makes so much sense.
Because I'm trying a little something different here, and I was looking at the screen. I'm like, that's not what he should be looking at. Same list I am. All right, well, I'll figure that out. Yeah, Darbaby says, too much Canadian whiskey last night. It was not Canadian whiskey. I had Evan Williams bourbon last night. And in about 10 minutes, buddy. I'm going to have a Sapphire Martini.
Oh, yeah, Sapphire Martini. It's going to be all blue. It's going to be like Sapphire. No. I don't know. I was just singing a song. I just made up a Pedro song right there. Sapphire Blue.
Yeah, but I'm gonna probably time it when I switch back to the couch, ladies and gentlemen. That's the famous. I call that the Rumble couch. There, it's got the American flags up there. Got
America.
Everything ready for commentary from the couch. Pedro, the topic that we always talk about. No, we don't always talk about. We've talked about a lot in the past few weeks. Obviously, it was the election, the change of administration. Is a big deal. And as we spoke about it earlier on today's show, it's what Mr. Trump, President-elect Trump, is doing. It is a transformative attempt at changing the U.S. government, or it's an attempt to be transformative, I should say. And he's confounding the experts by the people he nominates. And it's either going to turn out to be the largest shit show the government has ever seen in that But there's been quite a lot of shit shows in government.
Yeah. Yes, there has.
Or it's going to, down the road, be one of the things they look back to when
That's when America changed and got better.
Right, and that's when they fixed years of malaise and being cocky around the world and just growing the government and spending like crazy, and they got their house in order and did what they say Americans do, is realize there's a problem, make a change, and correct it forthwith. And hopefully, now maybe you might not get them all right at the first try. Maybe Matt Gaetz may not be the Attorney General candidate that everyone wants. Perhaps he's the decoy to get someone else. We don't know. But let me tell you one thing, the Attorney General's office will not be focusing anything on Mr. Trump, or for that matter on crypto. And I brought it up in the concept of today's show about crypto. And we all talk about Gary Gensler and stuff, and the head of the SEC and the CFTC as the kind of the overarching enforcers of crypto policy, that type of stuff. But they don't get to prosecute anyone. The SEC didn't prosecute CZ. The SEC didn't prosecute, I can't remember. It escapes me. The U.S. Department of Justice prosecutes people. The SEC goes after you civilly, and they can get court judgments in their favor to force you to pay fines, force you to stop doing something. And if they find criminal activity, they can refer it to the Department of Justice. That Department of Justice next year is going to be like, hello, nobody home. We're finally going to get a break on this. And hopefully the Department of Justice under Matt Gaetz, if confirmed, will focus on criminals, not focus on policy, enforcement of policy through criminal actions. And that's a big difference. It's a big change. It goes from doing the right thing to doing the wrong things. SBF, crypto, Mike, you are correct. Thanks for talking about that. Although SBF deserved to be crypto, he deserved it. That was not a thing. And to be honest, CZ, if he was intentionally skirting U.S. laws of money laundering and that type of stuff and saying we should ignore these U.S. laws, he also deserves what he got. But he still walked away with billions after only a few months in prison, so that type of stuff. Yeah, and Dar Baby Ripple is a great case. Ripple is a great case of what the F. Come on, guys, let's move on. Stop wasting the taxpayers' money. We know a sea change is coming. And as we saw today, XRP pumped like crazy. Then when they announced the AG change, because we know that the U.S. Department of Justice is not going to want anything to do with that. And they're going to poo-poo all over any SEC movement of it. Gary Gensler's going to be out. It's going to be crypto-friendly. But Matt Gaetz we've watched Matt Gaetz before, Pedro. And Gaetz has done some crazy things. I mean, he took on the whole party and caused... Literally took on the party with 8 other Republicans, joined with the Democrats to force the Speaker of the House out in basically a coup d'etat on one of the arms of the United States government, and which is somewhat of an outrageous thing to do for a stability point of view and for a party unity type thing. But he got his way. He won, and he got his way. He got his way democratically. He got his way by voting, not by shooting people in the back of the head in the middle of the night or having them fall out of hotel windows that they weren't even staying in. And after that, he was going into it. He was the pariah. Afterwards, all of a sudden, he got the guy that was Mr. Trump's antagonist out, and someone else got to be elected Speaker of the House. That essentially is an arm of Dr. Trump, of Donald Trump, and so suddenly he's the golden boy, and thus when Mr. Trump says, "I've got the power," I got the power.
I got the power.
He gets out the bright, stick of the exchequery, Hassan Fafari, and hits Mr. Gaetz with it on the shoulder and dubs him the Knight of the Attorney General office. And I find the most amazing thing. Oh, we got that. The cough button doesn't turn off the video, my friend.
I know, man. I mean, do I sit there and like...
That's what it looked like. I'm like,
am I a double donger? have you seen anybody um whatever Van
Horrible.
Hickey? There's a movie, or it's with John Cena. He's like, I get what the problem is. You've been double donging, and or you're a donger when you talk. So when every time you talk, you're always like going like this, and you're making a point, and those points are really good, but it's totally you're looking like you're just doing this, right? Anyways, and there's this one point in the scene where he's just like he's going like this. So this is what I'm talking about, and he's like he's talking like this, and he's doing this, and oh,
It sounds like it's like the Porky's Tallywhacker scene. For all you youngins out there who haven't watched the movie Porky's, an 80s classic about living out in the sticks in the South and getting away with booze and women and that type of stuff. There's a scene in which the lady that runs the gymnasium in the school is trying to out the boys who spied on the women in the bathroom. And Tallywhacker scene, and it's some of the funniest television or movie line quotes of all time, and you should watch Porky's.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. We have to give it a go.
Hey Pedro, I think it's time for me to fire up that martini. So I think it's also time for us to get in with the news that we wanted to talk about.
I do. So one of the things I do want to talk about is, and I just find it really interesting. One is that RFK, you know, many of us know that he's definitely one of those things he's really trying to do is reform the eating system within America. Literally because it's just many of us here know that. I mean, many countries around the world won't even take our food because of the chemicals that
Right.
are in it, the dyes that are in it. It's like this ruins your brain. This ruins your body. We don't want this here. Yet it's being served to us, Americans, and it's causing a lot of sickness, a lot of disease. So RFK is literally going through and trying to do a bunch of stuff. And what I found really interesting is that um, Trump today literally said that he's going to make him the Secretary of Health and Human Services. And upon him doing that, you literally saw all the top pharmaceutical companies out there
Did you
just
see
start
them
to
just tank?
plummet.
Yeah, their stock. They
Dude,
lost a couple of $1 billion worth of value today in the pharmaceutical
yes,
companies.
because he's literally going to say, I'm sorry, you're not going to put like poison in the American food anymore. And you're not going to go after children with dyes that are literally are causing them to have ADD and ADHD and having them having major issues that are pertaining to some people say, I don't know, this has never been truly found out, but autism, a huge spike that we've seen over the last 20 years of children who have autism. I think it's like almost 600%, 700%. It's increased or
There's
something like that.
just no reason that the U.S. should be above the norm of other countries.
Yeah,
Stuff. It's just not right. It's
yeah, I
just
would
not
agree.
right.
So I think that was really interesting. But on the back, but one of the things I am a little concerned about this though is that much like his relative, John F. Kennedy, uh, if he really starts to go after that and really push hard on that, I'm concerned that they might take him out. Um, and is he going to be as lucky as Trump? I mean, because we're talking billions of dollars of money, hundreds of billions of dollars, where he's going to make a lot of these companies go out and change the way they manufacture their food and say, you can't use this type of pesticide. You can't use this. You can't. We've seen scientific research saying like, look, this is what it is. He's also made it pretty clear that he said, I want to make sure that on the labels, you guys can't keep changing the names. And I was like, look,
They have court
it's high.
cases over this stuff, like what the word natural means.
Mhm.
To me, the layman, natural means you pick it up off the earth. It's natural. It's like, oh, it's natural. It grew off the earth. Natural in the food industry, no, can
Nope.
come out of the 3M chemical tank. Oh, it's
Yep.
natural chemicals
Mhm.
because they exist in the natural world. Like, no, or what are they arguing? Oh, they were arguing what meat is. They're like,
They
no,
were literally.
no, meat is what it grows naturally, organic. It's not printed in a 3D printer. It's not compressed out of cardboard or coal tar waste. It's meat. Oh, wow, we think it could mean nuclear waste. You're like, no.
I mean, I'll put it like this, and I'm not. I'm not. I just want to make sure that when I sit there, right, I don't even mind paying higher. I don't think I should have to pay higher. But when I sit there and when it says meat product, I assume meat product means it actually comes from a living source that was actually, and
That was
that
alive.
was reared. But meat product is not actually that. Meat product is literally something that is a derivative of a meat product, and that in itself can determine the percentage of it. What it's 30% meat, so it is a meat product. But what is the other 70%? Right? Half plastics, half other carbs. I mean, and I'm not joking when I say that. This is why many other countries in outside of America has literally said American processing food no.
Right.
And so it's
A lot of
gonna
our
be
meat's not
nice.
allowed in Europe.
Yeah, and for that particular
And
reason.
you see a lot more Americans with moobs. Got man
I
boobs.
being one of them. I grew up on meat. And then I was like, why am I getting older? Why am I getting moves? And then I actually had to start going through and understanding. And then by that time, 8 years into it, you're realizing, shoot, I've got a bunch of plastic in me,
I
and I don't
have
mean like,
plastic in me.
I mean, it's true. It's true, man. It's the honest to God true. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And the reason why that's important for crypto is
Maybe says
one,
margarine is one molecule away from plastic. Now that I believe.
yes,
Margarine is
no,
just
he's,
liquid plastic.
yeah.
It's like that the pump cheese on nachos. Like if Mr.
Oh, it's
Strike
still
and I
so
go
good.
somewhere
Oh.
and ask for nachos, we're like, is it cheese in the can or are you shredding stuff from actual cheese? And they're like, oh no, can pump. And we're like, no plastic. They're like, we're like, bring us some cheese to shred. And they're like, okay, why? We're like, because that's liquid plastic.
Yeah, literally.
Anyway, I've got the picture of RFK here and Elon and Mr. Trump in the background here. And the talk, Pedro, was that, he could put RFK in the FDA or something like that, Food and Drug Administration. But he just skipped all that shit. And he just said, you're going to the top position. You're going to the cabinet level position of Health and Human Services, which has largely been ceremonial, I might add, with political appointees that have generally just been there to kind of be a liaison. And this time it's going to turn the cabinet office into a place of action. Really going to get going. He's really going to screw a lot of things up. And companies with long-term plans and businesses and long-term supply chains in the food industry are going to get disrupted. So we are going to see
Healthy food.
but we're going to, in the meantime, we're going to see, we'll probably see higher prices as supply chains have to adjust. But thankfully, for everyone that complains about food prices and inflation and all that, the food industry is one of the purest commodities there is, because even though there's so much preservative in it, it's essentially a grow it and use it, make it and use it thing, with some freezing, some shipping, some preservatives, shelf life, that type of stuff. It's not like oil and gold, cotton, and things that you can put on the shelf for ages. It is something you got to use, and it's brutally competitive. I mean, it's seconds. It's tenths of a percent make or break grocery stores, this type of stuff. Hold on, I got the popo coming by here. Oh,
Gotta love the popo.
yeah, my body mic doesn't have a mute button on it. I got to go to the software and do it instead of just clicking. Anyway,
I like it.
Anyway, he's pulling over.
We barely heard it. So it's all good.
But anyway, as I was saying, it's gonna disrupt things. And Trump came out and said, Trump and Musk and someone else, maybe Ramaswamy said it too. There's gonna be pain. Changing nothing. You never come in and fix something, and it's like, wow, it's so much better. First, you rearrange stuff, you get rid of things, you do things. People have to learn new jobs, new work processes, new supply chains, new suppliers, new this, new that, and that adds to mistakes, that adds to inefficiencies. As people do it. And I did that. I ran manufacturing companies for a while. And I knew, I'm like, I know this change needs to happen. And 2 weeks from now, someone's going to criticize me and say, Tom, the costs are higher. It's taking longer. And I'm like, I know. It's Pedro. It's just it's just, what is it the same as that you say all the time? Go up. You got to go down first. Or to go down,
must go up. Yep.
Right. To bring the production cost down, nobody just goes like this and says, I'm a hero, and brings the production cost down. They go in, they make capital infusions, they disrupt supply chains, and that's going to happen. And we all have to get used to, we have to get ready for that, because we know that their efforts are attempting to pay down a $35 trillion debt and stop this growth of our government that is beyond what anyone ever thought was possible for a government. I mean, I think they have 33 million employees. That might include the military, but so maybe it's 23 million, or too many employees for government. I mean, when Elon went into Twitter, he looked at this thing and he said, I don't know, they had 20,000 employees or something. He's like, this thing should run like on, 5 people should be able to run this thing. It's just once you get it programmed, just let it run. And you start, and I think they have 10% the employees that they had before. And what happened with Twitter when he bought it, before he turned it into X? It was a disaster. Things weren't working right, this, that. Well, he just got rid of all that stuff, and it didn't work, and people are complaining, oh my God, I'm leaving forever. Whoa. My hearts aren't working today. He just got rid of our streaming capabilities. Like, pip, that's it. That's not working right. Got to redo it. And it came back, and it was better than ever. Hopefully they're able to do that with the U.S. government. DYOR Baby says, over 450 agencies, many of which overlap. I used to sell to the U.S. government, DYOR Baby. I'd sell our products to the U.S. government. And you'd think, all right, I've got a contract with the government, and it's a good price, and it's open for other people, like a GSA contract or something like that. And then go somewhere else and be like, oh, we can't buy in that contract. We're doing our own contracting efforts. Like, well, the government just did a year's worth of contracting to buy our stuff, and you can just go do it. You can just give that department the money, and you can buy it. Nope. We have our own way of doing things, and our own way, and we have to do it this way. Those guys suck. So they would duplicate the procurement efforts of the exact same thing, not a custom thing. Like, oh, it's different. You're on mute, by the way, Pedro. And it would be so frustrating, because you would have to sell to the U.S. government twice. You knew they were going to buy it. I was the guy making the black armored Suburbans. You knew they were going to buy them. And I had a good price for them. And so then that department would have a different method of contracting and different hoops to jump through. It's the most ridiculous thing. It caused industry to spend a lot more money. The U.S. government is duplicating the effort. They're spending, if one person works on the procurement for a year, that's a whole salary for that one person. And if 2 different departments are doing it, total waste. So there's a lot of waste, but that's not the key point. The point is, there's a lot of things that say, should the U.S. government even be doing this, and should it be the rules for the states to do, or should it even be regulated in the first place?
It's interesting, because I think it should be regulated if it gets at a point. If it gets at a point where it's, like we said, we've had crossover of agencies doing the same thing, and then all of a sudden, but they meet their limit, and then so you got to go over here, and you got to start a bunch of new paperwork to get things set up. So it's very frustrating, right? I could only imagine. It was actually really interesting. Dr. Fire Chicken over there, over on our good old friend Rumble. At Rumble, he says, if we get rid of and deport the workers, price is going to go up. But I want to make sure we understand the Attorney General, or what's the guy who's head over ICE? Oh, why am I forgetting his name?
Majorca.
Forget. He made it pretty clear. He goes, look, if you guys came over illegally, you're illegal. But our main point is we want to kick out literally the illegal guys who are doing harmful things. If you do harmful things, we're moving you out. Like, you're not going to stick. And then he's even said at times, he's like, I'm not going after the guys who are trying to work, who are working in the fields. We know that they're doing. We're not going to be going after them. We're going specifically after the ones who have caused a lot of pain and literally killed Americans, gone after our own people, and literally have just been put in jail and now living a good life in jail, which is a lot better than the life that they were living in jail in why am I forgetting what it's called? Not Argentina. Uh, Nicaragua, or was it Nicaragua, or is it
El
why am I
Salvador,
forgetting? Oh, Salvador, was it? No,
Venezuela.
because Venezuela. Yeah, Venezuela. Like he's made it very clear. Like we're not going after these the mom and pop workers. Like you, and a lot of the like I'll be straight up. My family came over illegally and they work. They're not going to cause any hassle. They're going to go into work and they're going to help pay for food. They're not going to do all these crazy things. If you're over here, keep your mouth shut, keep working, and then find a way to get citizenship. It's been done. How long? I know like everybody over there on Rumble and other people are going to get mad at us, but the reality is this is the mass deportation is going after the people who are literally trying to hurt Americans. And I don't mean like because of jobs are being taken. The jobs the majority of them take are literally low-end jobs, bussers, dishwashers, the guys picking the fruit, and now but now they can actually go work at, I hate to say, like McDonald's. I'm okay. Most Americans above 25 and 30 don't want to work at McDonald's. We want a real corporate job. So cool, boom. We're cool with that. What I'm saying is the idea of food, right? Finally actually becoming food again. It's this idea.
Food
What's that?
becoming food again. That'd be,
Is
we go into the grocery store and it's this section says food and this section says liquid plastic.
Dude, it really would. I actually saw this comic thing of this guy walking through, and he was like, "This is poison. Do you see this is poison? They kill rats with this. They kill, like all these things, and this melts cement." And it was like, and people were sitting there going, "Dude, I'm trying to buy that," And it was like the guy realized, and so it's like when food becomes food again. And yes, we're going to see price go up first, but then we're going to see price go down because they're going to have to they're going to have to work through it. And listen, I actually don't mind if food is real food again. If I got to pay for real money, I don't want to sit there and say, okay, this organic is great, but it also has this in it. And and on top of that, this type of pesticide that they put on it, I know that it's actually bad. So it's like even if it's organic, the pesticide that they use is it's still bad for my endocrine system. Great, right? Like let's get back to food being food again. I don't mind if my food has tarnishes on it. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Bugs got to eat too, but I'm gonna eat it. And it's not gonna kill me. It's not gonna hurt me. So I know we just went off on a total tangent. We were
No,
supposed
but
to,
Tar Baby brings up a good issue,
yeah.
and that is the cash economy that the illegal aliens generate because they get paid like all the landscaping companies that pay under the table and that type of stuff, or fake social security numbers, and that is a big source of tax, and it's not fair. You're like, oh well, that's those jobs, but it's not fair that the rest of us, the tax system should be fair so that everybody pays. And you don't exempt the people that make no money, and you don't overtax the wealthy beyond what's normal so they leave the country or leave everything. Everybody should be aware of the tax system. Everybody should pay into it, even if it's just a tiny little bit. You should still do it so you know what's going on. And the whole cash economy, like this, oh, we're not going to tax tips or overtime. That, first of all, that's bullshit. That will never get passed, even if they own the House of Representatives and the Senate, because then all of a sudden everyone's time is, oh, that's tip, we're paying in tips. But that economy there is a lot of money in that cash economy that is not being taxed, and it should be. It should be taxed to distribute the tax load amongst more people, make it fair, and help the government pay for what it does. Make the tax system fair, cut the size of the federal government. I mean, simple to me.
But here's the thing I bring up, like, yeah, the cash economy, but again, the real situation is this. He's talked about if you get rid of a lot of taxes out there and have kind of a flat tax, right, which he's talked about, it solves the issue of the non-taxable income. Like my income gets taxed literally 10 times from once it goes and I buy, once I get it, after it's been taxed at X amount of percentage, then I go out and I take that money and I pay for things. And every time that gets taxed by the government. So the very money that I actually go through is whatever my percentage is. I got to add on another 15 to 20% of taxation that I pay. And so the reality is this, is immigrants pay taxes. Okay. And I
Yeah.
think if I go through and I say, you know what, those people who are making X amount of money, we're going to tax them this person makes this amount of money, we're going to tax them at a lower rate. But if my income is at $30,000 or $50,000 and you're taxing me at 20%, or if I'm making money of 100,000 or 50,000 and you tax me at 30%, that guy even though his tax rate is 20%, it still hurts him because he struggles to put food on the table, even though you're taxing him at a lower rate versus the guy who makes $100,000. And I think this is the thing that it's not talked about much, right? Like if we were to go through and change some of the tax rates and how we actually establish tax rates, it would actually make things a little bit. I mean, anybody who owns a business knows I have a lot of write-offs, and I get them because I can those shoes, I can write that off on my tax. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it like this.
Right.
There's more to this than just what we're talking about. But jumping back to the food, I want food. I'm happy about the fact that our food is going to be real food, or at least I can sit there and say, no, this is bad. These are bad chemicals. I can sit there and they're not. And like, I don't know who said it, but they're actually going to be able to sit there and say, this is high fructose corn syrup, and keep it there. Keep that name so you don't have to sit there and go, wait, is this monorized glucose solidified, turned around upside down and come back around glucose, right? Like it's just, they've got hundreds of names for the same one that is out there that basically says, hey, it's giving you diabetes.
Right,
Don't.
and what they always
Yeah.
argue is the same thing that DARBaby brought up, that they're like, well, it's molecularly completely different, so it's different, doesn't fall into the regulations. And it was like, that's not the intent of Congress and the department in regulating. We don't want, high sugar syrups in place of natural ingredients in this stuff. Because they can make those at a much cheaper rate, so they use them. And we want natural sugars in it. And then they go, well, you banned high fructose corn syrup, but now we have jabronium in it, and it's a one molecule different, so it doesn't come under the law. And hopefully now that we've removed the Chevron defense, we should be able to have those types of things not happening. It's like, no, this is the intent of the department. Doesn't mean if you do one little bit of chemistry and it changes it and you get around the law. It means this is what we need to do. Foods need to be real, not fake. And it's going to change it. It's going to change the way grow things, hopefully much more locally grown. Where I went to high school was a big farm community, and which is all family farms. Talked to people from there now, and 3/4 of the place is corporate farms now because of how difficult it is to sell your family farm from one generation to the next now. So big companies are hoovering up Cargill and groups like that. Makes it a mess. Yes, J Crypto, the loophole is natural flavors. Dr. Fire Chicken says if you deport the people picking the real food that it's growing, it's going to be a problem. If you do, got those out of order. Sorry about that. Elon should have kept 20 people and made spaces work. But that's the point. But on that note, there are legal ways for people to come in as seasonal workers. So if we're unable to provide all the people that meet the demands for the seasonal food picking, like strawberries and all that, we do have a visa system that people can come in from other countries and temporarily work. I don't know how the taxes work for that, but how it should be is that if a grower, say a strawberry grower, needs 600 people to come pick everything, and they bring them in for 2 or 3 months to do that, we don't want those people to be burdened with having to get a tax identification number, do all that type of stuff. It doesn't make sense. Just have the employer pay one giant lump sum of income tax on that. settle it all. Then those people can come and go without the burden of all that. You're on mute, by the way, Pedro.
I know that.
Oh, okay. I saw your mouth moving, so,
Right.
so I thought you were trying to
No,
talk.
no. I agree with you. I mean, a lot of that I do agree with. But we've talked about that ad nauseum. I almost want to also talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, about what he's talking about, actually reshaping government agencies, and him basically saying that it's the size of the Manhattan Project, and we need the greatest of minds to really go through and really set this up. I thought that was really interesting because he's like, you don't understand the severity of this issue with the agencies that we currently have. And him's calling out, saying, listen, if you're smart and you like working out problems, because this is a human problem and it's going to take humans to solve this. I just thought that was really interesting, real interesting, in that he brings up saying, look, we need great minds. Me and Elon, we're going to step up in this, but we need people here that are going to want to get involved and actually understand what the issues are and how to actually solve this with the agency issue, with Doge, with the not the coin, but the actual Department of Government Efficiency. So I just think that was so interesting. What are your thoughts on that, Tom?
Well, like I have the thing up here. Musk and Ramaswamy's Doge opens hiring on X. Doge workers won't be compensated for their cost-cutting efforts. It says here. And Pedro, before the show, you were pointing out that Ramaswamy is very eloquent in the way he speaks, and even though we didn't have a lot of time between when you mentioned that, I did go back and watch one of his speeches, and you're right. He can explain things in pretty simple terms quickly, and I was impressed with that. And I think if Musk tries to do it, it's not going to work, because Musk speaks in a word salad way like Camilla does. But he gets concepts out, but it's not an easy conversation. Ramaswamy is like, boom, to the point. Here's the results. Let's get going. And I like that on him. I like that on him. I was not a follower of his at all during the campaign, but since then I've listened to a lot of the things that he's spoken about, and he's made a lot of sense. And he's able to convey concepts easily. And if you're going to try and go into a government or any organization, you need to be able to do that. I've done that. I've gone into small organizations, said, all right, we need to reboot this thing. We need to change things, or everyone's losing their job. And you have to be able to explain why we're doing something if you want to get people to cooperate. And you have to make the hard decisions. You need to say, I'm sorry, Betty, your whole department's useless, or it's redundant. Even I know you do it differently than Jim's department over there, and it's the same job or similar jobs, but a different department. You're redundant, and you got to go. And you have to explain to all of Betty's friends that it's in the best interest for everyone to have a smaller, more efficient government type thing. And so I don't know. I think we're for this. I don't know if you were trying to share your screen on that, Pedro. I know you had a bunch of articles.
Yeah, but it's all right. Please keep going. I think what's interesting to watch him actually communicate, and I agree with you. Like, Musk has a hard time really deploring. Wow, dear Lord, forgive me. I sound like it. Musk has a hard time really. He explores a idea. He doesn't really deliver it well.
Ribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. I am good. No, I've heard that before, and I don't know what it is. Can't remember.
I think he's joking around.
No, but I think that's a real thing, and I think it's like hair restoration formula or something like that, or whatever. J Crypto says temporary visas. Sorry to don't jump back in that last topip, but wanted to
what it
get
is,
a comment.
It's an acid that is basically a polymer, and what it does is it just helps each other connections connect. It basically it's basically RNA. That's a good way of putting it in. That's what it is.
Oh, diroxy.
Yeah.
Nucleic DNA.
Yeah, DNA. It basically binds and brings them together.
Sorry, it's evening and I haven't had a drink yet, Pedro, so I'm not with it. Chuck, that was a good one, and you got me on that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Amazing DNA.
Yeah, that made
it
my
binds
night
things
there.
together.
Hey,
Yes, I
Pedro,
agree with you.
I'm going to jump off
Go ahead.
camera for a second, and I'll be right back. But I'm going to put you on with your screen so you can take it over.
Excellent. All right. So actually, we'll wait in just a second about a couple of the other news things. I want to bring up Ethereum here. Ethereum is showing a pretty decent amount of weakness in this area here. We came down, we fell off of that A period, and we're kind of coming through here. So we potentially could be coming back down. I'm shocked that we're coming down, but I thought we were going to come up and tap this area here and to see it actually continue or bounce off of this area and then come back down to these areas right here. But it's actually pulling back here pretty strong. Um, the thing is as we're coming down, remember, I always say, look at the volume and look at the volume fall off here, right? We're watching the volume fall off. So I'm definitely expecting it to see some type of stability right here with Ethereum. Ethereum is definitely kind of showing weakness, even though it is coming down. It's a false weakness because we're seeing volume here really kind of, well, it's not as much volume as we expect to see. So if it was going to continue down, we'd see more volume, or we'd see more seller volume coming down. So if you're looking to be buying up, a good little area right here would be that weekly area right here, which would be that 275 area. Potentially, as it could find support here on that weekly 8 at that 2682 area. So it's looking pretty nice. Somebody brought up Doge here. We'll bring up Doge here in a second. Doge is really funny when I look at it, because when you look at it overall, it's so bullish. It's crazy. It's finding support right here, which this was a red yesterday. I turned this to green because it's going to act as support here. So that's what we're seeing come in right now. It's finding support up in this demand area, and we'll see what happens. The fact that yesterday we had a very small amount of volume, seller volume, I'd expect us to see it kind of push higher from this moment on as well. See it potentially come down here first into the evening, where we could see it come down to that 31 cent area, and then 31 cents 99, 32 cents area, and then see it continue up into that 70 cents potentially, because it really has no other, there's no other, there's nothing that's stopping it. So I could really just shoot up from here to up into that 70 to 76 cent area. So really, really looking nice. Oh, I also want to bring up yesterday, because we didn't talk about it. BNB has been on a tear. I mean, look at this thing compared to all the other altcoins. This thing compared to why is my brain blanking? Next to not so TRX. There we go. Next to TRX here, which is finding support right at these levels here, which is at an all-time high, right? Like we're seeing with Bitcoin. This thing is holding strong. It is impressive to see what's actually happening here. In the same sense, we're seeing, excuse me, forgive me that. I don't mean to be burp in your ears, guys. You can see here that this level here is finding support at that 60 or 624 area here, looking very nice. And the reason why I want to bring that up is because if BNB really starts to catch again, I could see money flowing into this. They still have a lot of, well, coins and memes or meme coins happening on it, but they're bound for something to come out with something. They have so much money left over. I'm expecting them to do something unique. So I think picking up some BNB would be smart. These levels here, we're breaking out of this. I talked about this area here, which was the 621 area, and also this lower marking area between the 400 500 area. We've been playing off of these zones here, and so now we're kind of breaking out here. So I'm expecting to see this continue up and potentially kind of go to an all-time high, which is right up in this level of the 724 area. So let's wait and see, but I do expect to see this continue higher here. Are you there, my friend? Oh, nope, he's still a little biome break there. Let's check out. Do you guys have any other questions you want me to go check out from a technical point here real quick? Also, shout out to all our guys over at Rumble. Please hit that like button. That helps us out so much. Also, if you guys can, jump in, log in, create a profile, and just comment in our live chat here. That helps us out so much. And because we are a live show, we actually interact with many of our guests, and we go over a lot of stuff with them. So it's pretty cool. Cute Doge. Shout out to Save Crying Cat. I thought the same thing too, man. It was a cute little dancing thing. J Crypto, you don't need 7 to 10 years to vet people these days. I agree with you on that. Boom. Temp visa work or temp visa, work visa, pay taxes. Right. I agree with that. I could sit there and see that. Let them come in, let them work, right? It's one of those things I think would actually help also with a lot of the smuggling, a lot of the coyotes that bring people over. It's not safe, right? And a lot of the people who come over from Mexico are taken advantage of by coyotes, and the amount of money that they charge to come over is another thing that people don't realize. So the lore of coming to America is real and it's beautiful, and we need to somehow figure out a way to keep people from being hurt there. Margarine, alrighty, that's good there. Caught up on with you guys. All right, so let's check out also a couple of these other ones I've been looking at. We've talked about Chronos here, and for me, as every one of you guys know, I'm definitely really bullish on Crow here. Potentially, I'm kind of waiting for this pullback here to that 10-cent mark area. So looking forward to come back down here. I'm gonna buy up a pretty good amount here. I think it'll probably be the last time we see it kind of come down to this level before we kind of see it again push up that next leg. So for me, if you guys are a Crow baby here, which I definitely more am, I'm expecting it to come down, place a nice little support area here, and then continue back up to that 46-cent area, or potentially 25 cents. So really nice little pickup that we've been seeing. I like the pullback here personally, as all you guys know. It's good for me because, well, it makes me money.
Makes you
All right,
money.
guys. It makes me money.
Makes
And
you
if
money.
it makes you money.
And if it makes you a martini, I'd like to make
Then
a
what?
special sound effect for this, ladies and gentlemen, but I've got the required tools, got the martini glass,
Oh yeah,
got the
baby.
shaker, and as you can see, it's the couch cam right now. Thank you,
couch
Rumblers. It's
cam.
time. It's time. We're gonna pour this deliciousness.
Ooh, deliciousness.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, what is that? Ooh, da-da. Anyways, dude, like if I could ever get to heaven or you'd see God here real quick, I'd be like, hey, can you give me a gift? He'd be like, what's up, son? I'd be
With a
like,
lemon.
can,
I like it
can
with a
you
lemon
let me
twist.
have a good voice? Can you give me a good voice?
I know. I blame my mom for that. She blames her mom.
Like, can I get a perfect pitch and a good voice? I mean, because no matter how much I try, it's not like it's like a cat screeching at night when he's fighting with another cat. And I think I sound like a nightingale, and it's more like,
ooh. I got the shivers
is
from
that
that.
good, my friend?
Oh, it's
Is it
delicious. Just made this
that
whole
blue
show
sapphire?
so much better. Anyone else out there sharing a martini with me, I'd really appreciate letting me know.
Nice. Fire chicken. How you doing over there? What you
So
drinking
good.
out on that? Are you watching us over on the TV, or are you outside hanging out on the back porch of your giant estate over there, shooting raccoons?
Shooting raccoons.
I'm just joking.
Oklahoma. Anyway, it's good to be back on the couch here for the evening session of our show. Trying to be a little bit more relaxed here, even though we're pretty relaxed during the day. Have a little martini with the viewers and try to see if we can talk about some good topics. One of the good topics, Pedro, is the robotic evolution token that we talked about in the show today. I think Dar Baby wants to know if it's pumping or not. I don't have the chart up. I moved over to the couch, so I don't have my charts. Right, there is not a drop of vermouth in this. It's not extra dry where you use extra dry vermouth. It's called bone dry. No vermouth.
Bone dry. You don't like the vermouth?
Actually, I do, but my vermouth is dead, and so I'm drinking bone dry. I don't like a lot of vermouth. What I like to do is put a cap full in, swish it around to get to all the surfaces with vermouth, and then delicious gin in.
Delicious gin. Delicious. It's delicious. Anyways, all right, I just sound like a total creeper. All right, shout out to, let's check out our good old friend, Reet. Why am I throwing that out? Why can't I say that? Reet. Let's check it out here real quick. Ret. R-E-T. Here we go, man. So a nice little pullback here that it did for the day, and we're seeing it starting to climb back up again. Nice. And it's looking good, man. I gotta admit, it's looking good. Good amount of volume today. Really good. We did a good little sell-off here. And so now it's pulling back here. You can see. And there's really nothing to say. It was smart. It pushed up, came back down, picked up buyers, and now it's pushing up. So it looks good. It looks good. I can't
see the price on it. What is the
Oh, it's about, I think it's 2.8 mil market cap, where it got up to 4 mil market cap.
Yeah.
And then additionally to that, we also saw from a price standpoint, it's in at 002815. And so it's kind of just doing what it's doing. This type of chart I absolutely love. It pushes up, comes down, pulls back, consolidates, pushes back up, boom, consolidates, comes down, boom. To me, when you see something that's a healthy chart, that is a healthy chart. And so for me, I love seeing that and then watching it play off of that. When you look at that daily chart looks good. You can see that it pushed up, came back down. The only concern here is that I don't want to necessarily see that big of a seller wick, but the fact that it's climbing back up and it's above the 8-period moving average, and that we're definitely in a bull market as a global sense, it very much the momentum we could see it continue up. And I also want to say the reason also when I look at this area, it coming back up and tapping the previous highs here, which was right here, and finding support there is another thing when I'm looking at a chart that I want to sit there and see, right? A lot of times I will, and this is what I'll bring up. So I'll show you guys here what I do. So the first initial push up that creates that wick, which many of us see it, right? And what this is, we all know that these are cheaters who pushed the market up and sold it off, right? First day. But then when you see it come down and you see it push up, I always put, you guys have seen me do this now multiple times on charts where I want to see it come back down to the highs of the previous push, buy, and then see it push up. And that to me is a good sign saying, hey, look, the people who were out here, right? These people here got stuck here, sold off, but now they bought back in right here. So that's where you see that increase in volume here. So it's a really pretty cool situation when I see something like that. And the fact that it looks good. Now, I do think we do have to disclose that we do have RET right now.
We do. We are owners of Robotics Evolution token. As they say, these things we do in meme coin amounts. So not a lot of money. What we have done in our audience isn't something that it's going to be influencing the buying, as they say. But as always, we like to be transparent with you guys, and we have suggested it. And AI Wolf is the chief shiller for this token amongst our group, and he's a good guy. Brings a lot of viewers to our program. So
we appreciate it.
So we do not get paid for doing any of this, but we do like to say, people, and it can be anyone. If you bring viewers to our show, we'll go over your token.
Yes, we will. We will shamelessly promote you. Well, I want to say promote you. That's actually a wrong way of saying it. I may not. If it's a crap chart, it's a crap chart. I'm what it is, right?
We still
you
have
ain't paying us.
some druthers there.
Yeah. But if it's a good chart, I'm gonna say this is a good chart. Like right here, RET. It's a good chart, looking sexy. This is looking. What is it? Sexy AE.
Is now what we're saying. And you know what? You know. I had to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. So another thing I kind of wanted to talk about was Valkyrie CEO Leah Wald is literally starting their own. No, it's not starting, but they've been doing, and they went out and bought a bunch of nodes on a few little positions here, and we'll talk about it right here. Talk about it was on Solana, Sui, and Monad. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Is it Monad or Monade? You know, I always mess it up. And Arc Network. So
Question,
I find
Pedro.
it
Good
interesting.
question.
I know I always mess it up. But the thing is I want to bring up is that many institutions and traditional finance right now are looking to follow people like her, Kathy Woods, people who are kind of in between the traditional finance as well as crypto finance, and they definitely have this skill down. And this idea that what they're doing, it's almost like leading the way. Like, here, guys, these are good projects. We're in crypto. We're telling you this is good. Check this out. You know, and so you see institutions starting to kind of mimic a lot of the trades that are actually happening with a lot of these in between, like a bipartisan of TradFi and crypto financer. So it's interesting to see them now starting to move over and kind of copy it. So it was one of those things I think was really interesting. What are your thoughts? And this is what what I want to bring up is the idea of TradFi really starting to dip their feet into crypto. They know that they've got a president as well as a Congress and a Senate that is pretty much pro crypto. So they're going to establish a framework that's going to be good, and it's going to look really good on their portfolios. You know, by them they can actually get in, and when they post, I feel really bad, but I gotta let that go. So it's just one of the things that, as we're looking into the future, they're going to be looking at a lot of these guys in their place, and they're going to be self-analyzing. There are people out there that are absolutely looking at this and going, okay, there's definitely things called memes, and they make a ton of money, and it's real, right? Then on the other end, you also have these plays that you have these crypto, as Jamie Diamonds, there are cryptos that do nothing, and there are cryptos that do something. And he wants to invest in the cryptos that do something, right? And it's this idea of how are they going to bring that into the traditional markets and understand what's actually happening here. So it's real interesting. Give me 1 second here. Give us your thought processing.
Hold on one second. I had you on solo there for a minute while I plugged in another monitor here so I could something. So I had my earpiece out for a second. Sorry. You there? Hello?
Absolutely. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm trying to arrange the couch position better, so I'm not always looking down at the screen like this, and you're looking at my receding hairline. Trying to have it set up so that I can.
By the way, it's a mighty magnificent shine to that receding line. Just so you know, it definitely has a shine to it.
Hey,
so
us guys
the other
approaching our 60s, you know, we have to make do with what we got.
I hear you, man. I hear you. It's really interesting. 24 viewers right now. On the real, I want to shout out to Dr. Fire Chicken. You are holding down and helping us out at Rumble. I want to thank you, man. That is such a huge play. Shout out to you. You're keeping us going. It's really good. Thank you over there. I also want to say one of the things he said. So Mr. Fire Chicken is a real doctor, Dr. Fire Chicken, and our Kungar, and
that can go weird places real fast.
real quick. We do it often. And then we come back gingerly as if nothing ever even happened. Don't talk about it. Don't look at it. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Either how, he actually went through. He's a doctor. He went and I don't know if you know, but he sold his house, the big old house, and when they moved to Tulsa, and as it says, then when we moved back, we bought a place we could pay cash for, which is brilliant. So it's a fixer-upper, but don't have a mortgage, which is honestly 90% right. And this,
Where
if
where
things
was
go
where was
awry,
that comment?
that is over on Rumble, our good old friend, Mr. Rumble over there.
I don't know why I'm
So
not
whoop
getting it.
whoop, yeah. Um, what do I do with these? What do I do with this? Oh snaps! What did we get right there? We just straight got a shout out right back at ya. Love this, baby. Yeah. Mr. Fire Chicken, thank you for the $10. Really appreciate you immensely. Thank you so much. That's a whale there. Shout out.
Uh, yeah,
Um,
I'm sorry, my great comment machine was not working there.
It's okay. It happens. All right. So jumping back to what the topic at hand, watching how crypto is moving, our crypto investors are moving, and now that the institutions are really starting to pay attention and realize, look, there's advent real money to be made. We're at that precipice of really seeing things take off, and this is such a fledgling. And I know many of us in crypto are like, what do you mean fledgling? This is still a fledgling industry that has been suppressed by Gary Gensler, by the previous administration. So it has not had the ability to let out like a roaring lion. Now it's hungry, it's ravished, and it's looking to actually get going. And so really, it's going to be really interesting to see how they're actually going through and the investments that they're going to pick, from Goldman Sachs to Jamie Dimon to many of the other normal institutions that are out there that are traditionally in finance, who play with stocks, bonds, and just traditional finance products. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do and how they put their money in use. And I think they're going to be using people like Leia here to really go through and to kind of follow and see what they do, and they kind of almost kind of mimic. So that's why I was bringing her up, and I want to know your view and thought on that.
Hold on, I have a more important thing real quick. Oh, you know what? I've got you on the main on the. Sorry, while I was messing around here, I had solo thing here when I should have had you on the full screen here. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I took a break to get the comment machine working, or to get my screen working. Then I forgot the comment machine, and now I see it all working while Pedro was going on, giving us some important topics. I was off there.
Do you want me to clue you in? Or
Yes,
I know,
please do that.
were you up? All right, so this was the article that we were talking about with Leia Wald, where she was the former CEO of Valcare Investments. And so it's just one of those things that I bring up because she's an expert in crypto. She's also an expert in traditional finance. She's smart, she's young, she knows what she's doing. And so it's really interesting to see. We're watching a lot of these kids, to us they're kids, but they're brilliant and they know what they're doing, capable. And so they're navigating the crypto industry in an expert way, where they're
Well,
investing into things.
wait, hold on, Pedro. Are you telling me that 4 nodes Solana sold for $18 million?
Yeah.
Chuck, I'm going to ask
Yeah.
Chuck this question. Chuck's a miner and has been in the node operation business for other things before. Did anyone see this coming before and miss that? Am I the first person, or let me rephrase it, am I the last person to understand how valuable the Solana nodes are? I remember when Solana was launching and they were talking about proof of stake and all that type of stuff. Like, okay, well, whatever. And I've been running, I run all kinds of things on this. I got a Linux server here. I've got one in the cloud. I can do all this kind of stuff. And I'm not. And Pedro, very few things in crypto shock me. Very few things. After watching rug pulls and scams and people getting rich on meme coins overnight, you get, you're immune to that. But this set me back. $18 million for 4 nodes on Solana. Where'd she get the 18 million? Did she start with 18 million? I'm reading the article here. Total value in the investment is nearly 18 million, broken into 3 tranches: 1 million in cash and 1 million in company shares at the closing deal, and the rest distributed over 3 years in shares. So it's $18 million if her company ends up being valued what she predicts. It's entirely possible that that doesn't happen. If the price of Solana goes down a lot, the validators make a lot less money, if something like that. So it could be a variable price. But the point is I'm shocked that 4 nodes. What do 4 nodes at Ethereum cost? I'm going to Camilla. Be what was before, beyond what you can be. Anyway, I think your question is these younger people getting into it, right?
Yeah, so the thing is that we're watching a lot of traditional finance, paying attention to what a lot of these kids are doing because they're kind of novices themselves at where should they be buying, where should they be investing their money. Obviously, in their own blockchains and being able to funnel large amounts, an infinite system of money into a finite system called crypto. So they're looking at people. She's a leader in investing. She goes through. She's in a lot of things, and I'm using her as an example because there's many other younger kids, not younger kids, you know, 20-year-olds, late 20s, early 30s that are going
kids,
through.
that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's a wrong way of saying it, but they're experts at what they're doing. And watching traditional finance, pay attention to them and seeing where they're actually going to be putting their cash and where they're establishing cash, footholds, and watching this. And I can only imagine that institutions are going to be paying attention to them because they're kind of novices when it comes to crypto. And on the onset of a market here, it's a nascent market that is on the eve, right? Of just the advent of just an explosion where a 3 trillion market cap could easily turn into, I mean, 40, right, trillion market over the next 20 years. So it's one of those things that they're not just going to jump into things, right? They actually made their mistake, and they know that they made a lot of mistake during the tech bubble where they threw their money into everything, right? Like you could have a dog company and literally sell it for $20 million because it's on the internet, and it was worth nothing in the first place. So I know they're smart at that. So to watch where they're going to put their money, what they're going to be doing, and so I think it's really interesting. And I don't know, I'm going to be paying attention to how traditional finance look and evaluate where they're going to put their cash at. And I think they're going to be following young whippersnappers like here.
Well, Pedro, one of the things that is common amongst the world is that the older generations don't recognize when they should what the newer generations are doing and the possible impact it has. What this is telling me is that there's one thing to make money in investments or in the gambling, however, or utility versus meme coin, of the smart contracts that are on blockchains, and then there's a whole nother thing about making money on building the infrastructure. And I think the lady is a good example of making money on building the infrastructure, or at least building companies that operate the infrastructure, because as we all know, investments in infrastructure, whatever the infrastructure is, whether roads, internet backbone, or validating nodes on it, pay off massively in return on investment. They don't pay off once, like having the circus in town. That's a one-time hit on the return on investment. And infrastructure pays and pays and pays and pays over again. So I think if the younger generation is starting to focus on the infrastructure of it, they'll grow up.
Which is what we're seeing.
They'll grow up with a focus on that. And if they can focus on infrastructure as they age through the different earning brackets and seniority levels in industry and in government, I think that'll be a good thing, because the return on investment is the best places it can happen are in education and in training. I don't mean education mean only higher education. I mean bettering your skills, and in infrastructure. That's how countries get a higher standard. And for that, I'll have a martini. Agree.
Amen. All right, so let's jump to the next thing here, which I found jumping back into crypto here. About 2 things here real quick. One, Polymaker gets basically ransacked. He got diddied by basically by the DOJ, and they went through, and they basically said, "Hey, you're kind of under arrest."
He got diddied.
And
He got
yeah,
diddied.
yeah.
I love it.
He,
I love
he got bent, and the part about it is that's sad is that he tried to stop Americans from actually entering into the poly market area, and he's like, and in the article which I sent you, he says, I tried to stop him. What else can I do? Like do a whole entire KYC, like it,
right.
like the rest of the world. So I just thought it was really interesting. He sits there and he gets busted for creating a new well approved, and I think it's almost like and I read in the article a little bit more, and I think they were right. The current DOJ right now is Trump got that Diddy pardon ready, right? Exactly what I'm about to say.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there's a whole list of pardons ready to go. I don't know about Diddy. I mean, if that involves kids, there won't be any pardon there. Trump has no love for that.
No.
But there's a list of pardons that are going to come out that he's just going to be like, I don't care, criticize me. But we felt that the Department of Justice was run politically, and so we are just going to smoke all those things out and be done with it. And the poly market guy, I mean, I don't care if he's an American or whatever, and why I don't understand even why it's illegal in the U.S. to do it. Oh, you didn't do KYC, right. So it could be money laundering. Right. Go F yourselves on this KYC stuff. You know what, guys? I'm tired of hearing that almost everything that we want to do, we can't do unless we provide our passport number and get government approval to do it. I'm tired of that. I am almost 60 years old, and I had to buy this gin tonight. In my martini, I had to show my ID. They would not let me. The grocery store's policy was, we card everybody. I'm like, I'm clearly over 21. They're like, nope, you have to show your ID. And I'm like, and the problem is when you pay with your phone, you go to tap your phone. Yeah. You don't always bring your wallet.
It's truth.
And I'm like, I happen to have a picture of my ID on my phone for various other reasons, because all these services you have to do. And in the past, I'm clearly 50. I'm older than I'm twice as old as a 21-year-old.
Listen, you can see his receding shiny hair. Yeah. It's not like it's receding.
Like,
no, this thing is done receding, and it's tan. It's full on tan.
And it's driving me crazy. And they're like, that's our policy, the Kroger Corporation. In the United States, Kroger Corporation, one of the largest employers, they're so afraid of the United States government that they say, you have to card everybody. So I have to show my ID just to have a martini when I'm clearly over the age of 21. That's how scared they are of the United States government. And that is ridiculous, and that needs to end. Absolutely 100% needs to end. I'm tired of that shit. And God, I've only had half this martini, and I'm raring and ready to go. But it's ridiculous.
I love it, dude.
I love it. Approval. It's just ridiculous. We need government approval to do anything. Just like betting on the outcome. Not even the presidential election. There's 8,000 things you can bet on poly market, and it's just, oh, you're a felon, you can be caused money laundering, all this type of stuff. Our point as humans is not to live under money laundering laws. Our point is to live as humans, and the government should just try and figure out money laundering like normal detectives do, that they're very good at if you have good police. If you're a lazy piece of crap investigator and can only sit in a computer and look up on databases on surveillance of U.S. citizens, you're not doing your job right. You're not doing it right.
And I think you actually hit a really good point here. Yeah, so here's the article. And I think you bring up a really good point. It's that it's really the overstep of the government. It's really the overstepping of where we were meant to be by our founding fathers versus where it's at today to keep us safe. This idea that, listen, you don't know better. You need to kind of just let us take care of you. And the truth is Americans, listen, we are ADD, ADHD, wild cowboy, Texan, even half the guys up here at the Northeast are still just, I don't know, faded cowboys. You know what I mean? Faded. I mean, they got the, they got the cut, and they got the Boricua, but they're still got that mindset of we're renegades. And the fact that the government is still trying to baby us, it frustrates me. It's like, listen, my grandpa tells me stories that he used to ride around and literally just do these crazy things. I've had foster grandparents tell me, look, let me tell you about this. It's how it used to be, right? And they turned out pretty well. Now, I'll also put it like this. They also had to deal with, I mean, I don't know, asbestos. But then we're also dealing with, or lead poisoning, right? But on the back end, we're dealing with pesticides that literally give you man boobs and turn men into women. So I don't know.
Well, in the past, two things, Pedro. In the past, we didn't have the government oversight, large bureaucracy that protected us from asbestos and things like that. And we didn't have the Trial Lawyers Association. And so in the past, companies would get away with things. They say, no, it's fine, like smoking. No, it's in the 50s, this stuff's fine, and all this type of stuff. And the information wasn't easy to gather for the trial lawyers to bring class action lawsuits for harm against people. Now it's data ubiquitous, and they can buy data about just about anything you can think of. The industry is better able to regulate it itself, because they know if they put asbestos or a new product like asbestos out there, like these effing forever chemicals in our Teflon pans, that eventually the trial lawyer is going to come calling, and they're going to ruin your company for good reason. Like 3M. 3M's was a great company. Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, Minnesota, whatever it was, 3M. They made the worst chemicals. The pollution sites on the Mississippi River, even here in Illinois, it's like they're talking about it like being like nuclear waste. You know what they made there? They made the Teflon for your pants there, and all that stuff's going in our bodies. It's just the worst thing. But now, the government regulators get, kind of, we won't say paid off, but we'll say cajoled into not doing their job and regulating that.
To do their job correctly.
But the trial lawyers are out there to make the big money, and they're out there saying, hello, we want $50 billion for you guys screwing up all of our DNA. And so we don't necessarily, times now, we don't necessarily need multi-billion-dollar government oversight when private industry and frankly the legal industry can also do oversight.
It's interesting, and it is manufacturing and manufacturing and mining. It was real interesting when you look at it. Yeah, Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing Company. So you were right. What I think was so interesting when we look at overall government oversight, and I think in here, I think it's really interesting because I think we understand here, at least the current in crypto, again, jumping back to crypto, we are really trying to make sure that we don't cause harm. A lot of us here are libertarians, and we want a small government, but we want to govern, right? And so this huge, we're watching a self-governance system actually happening right now here in crypto. And what I find it so interesting is as it is happening, we're watching our group come together and saying, look, we need to start going after these people. We need to go after this. And we are self-educating each other about what to look for, what's actually going on, and actually how to almost stop these situations that are happening. And obviously, scammers are going to be scammers, okay? But our self-awareness now. So when we see noobs start to come in, or newbies, right, start to come in, we very much about, look, be careful here, be careful here. This is what you want to do. We're teaching them a lot. And so I want to jump here real quick with one of the comments he says here, the owner of Polymer. He goes, aside from geofencing, the only real way to prevent people in restricted countries from accessing a site is by requiring identification. But this means law-abiding users must trust the platform with sensitive personal data, cybersecurity experts said.
Absolutely.
So I think it's
ridiculous.
Right, like you said, like, why should I have to sit there and do that? There's no real point to you trying to the long arm of the law in the mix of this when it's already kind of being governed. So either way, and I always say like this, when it comes to, and I'm going to use guns and I'm going to use other aspects, but it's the same thing. Laws aren't meant for what the good abiding citizens, because they follow the law.
Right.
Laws are meant for people who break the law. And the reality is they're going to continue to break the law. right? So
it's illegal
either
to
way,
kill people. Murder is illegal, yet it still
yeah,
happens every
guns and
day. Murder
right.
happens every day.
Right. So I bring this up really as crypto, and this is going to go into coins and what's actually happening right now, and then what Trump wants to do uh, with Liberty, Liberal Financial, and what he's trying to do with it. But I just think it's real interesting to see what we're happening. I'm going to bring up the next thing. Did you want to jump in that, or did we want to go into the next topic?
No, I just realized I need to fix the focus on my.
All righty, there we go. All right, guys. So the next topic I thought was really interesting was Tether unveils the new platform to simplify asset tokenization for businesses, nation states. So this idea, and I actually talked about this almost a year ago, nation states here, right? But they're going to be, I think they're going to be called tokenized states, meaning you're going to have like these groups called DAOs, but I think they're going to morph into almost a tokenized state where you will have a governing force, a group of people, much like a fraternity, fraternal system, where people will come together and they will be able to create laws within themselves, within crypto. And this is where we're actually going to see a governance actually take place. And you'll go from tokenized state to tokenized state with your personal tokenization of your own brand that will prove that you're safe or not safe, right? Through and we talked about this a while back ago, right? We're talking. You're like, what are you talking about, Pedro? But as always, I hate to say, but I'm kind of forward thinking in many areas. But we're starting to see this tokenized state of being where it's developing right now, and I think we're going to turn also more into the DAO system, but we're going to call it different. And so I'm actually really excited about what they're doing with the new platform, how much easier they are, where somebody from, let's say, Walmart, right? Walmart's going to be able to go through and tokenize their token. They're going to be able to sit there and set it up and actually have some form of, US WT, right? Walmart, a stable coin. They'll be able to go through and transfer from US dollar to over here. And instead of going through a middleman through the internet, you just simply send them through the blockchain. And so it's a beautiful thing what they're doing, and it's real interesting to me. And the actual system the platform is called Hadron, which I thought is cool because the Large Hadron Collider, boom, it sends things and lights, and I just thought it was like, oh, that's real clever. Were you able to read through this or no? No, you didn't. That's okay. I just thought it was really cool what they're actually going to do and how they're setting things up. One of the things we need to start doing is in our shows, we need to put the links on a lot of the articles we're seeing. So let's see if we can do that tomorrow. I'll make sure I'll save these and we can just grab the links for people to read through them. The other part behind it as well is, and I'll jump into this part here as well, overreach again was what actually happened again with the Fed Chair Jerome Powell about hawkish statement. Oh, we already went over that. I'm sorry.
Hold on, just focus once again here.
So I also wanted real quick, and I read through this, but I'm going to read it here for many of our people here in case you guys missed it. So Trump supported World Liberty Financial taps Chainlink data services as DeFi platform takes shape. So here we go. I'm going to read through this here real quick. Chainlink will provide critical pricing data and cross-chain interoperability infrastructure for the nascent DeFi platform. World Liberty Financial, the nascent decentralized finance DeFi protocol supported by Donald Trump and his family, said Thursday that it will use data provider Chainlink services for better integrating with the wider crypto ecosystem. Chainlink will support the platform by providing critical pricing data and cross-chain interoperability infrastructure. The Chainlink standard is already widely used across DeFi and will help what's WLFI? Attract. Oh, sorry. World
Liberty Financial.
Yeah, sorry, brain went there.
That's a long one.
World Liberty attracts users that value the security and reliability that has already helped grow DeFi as an industry. Chainlink industry. Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov, I always mess his name up, said World Liberty Finance is superheading the Zachary Folkman and Chase Hero, who worked previously on DeFi platforms. Doug Finance.
Doe Finance, which I might add, I believe they rugged.
Did they? Like they shouldn't have said. Which saw a 2 million.
Wait, Zachary Folkman.
Yeah.
He's running.
And Chase.
That's right. He's running World Liberty Financial. Doe Finance, they didn't rug. They had exploit that was never attributed to anything. And two, his biggest project so far to date was the web thing, Hot Party Girls LLC or something like that.
I remember that one.
Hot Party Girls LLC. How'd you make millions? I registered a good domain name.
Literally, that was it. And somebody bought it.
Party Girls.
Oh my goodness! You talking about a brilliant? That's imagine the person who just picked up Google and Google had no. Actually, I think Google was able to. They didn't have to pay anybody for it. But I know there's been a few companies. I know there was a guy. Tom Bailu talks about this story. This is a side tangent, which we have all of them. We always have side tangents. But Tom Bailu, who's a public speaker, Quest brand, he created it. It's long story short, a kid, 18 years old, saw the name, realized this guy was going to be a big guy, and literally tombailu.com, which was brilliant. And so when Tom Bailu was trying to go out and get it, he saw somebody had already got it. Was like Thomas Bailu, Tom Bailu, thing. And so he sits there and he goes, so he reaches to this kid and goes, look, you obviously saw this coming. And the kid's like, yep. And so the guy goes, I want to buy it from you. And he goes, all right, I know it costs $1 million to have a one-on-one conversation with you and to be basically your one-on-one tutor. Because the guy's built multiple businesses and they've all been super successful. Yeah, well, I mean, there are a number of CEOs who've kind of retired.
I get that.
And it costs a lot of money.
I get it, right.
He's not the only one. There's a lot of them out there. And so I say that because he sits there and he says, I want 7 periods where I can have with you. 7 or 8 periods. I think he finally settled for like 10. And he goes, I want to build a business and you don't have to pay for it, but I want time with you. And Tom Bailu was like, this kid is genius. You know what I'm saying? He's looking for the knowledge. He's looking to build and be successful. And he wants one-on-one knowledge because we all know knowledge is really the currency of currency.
He was building infrastructure. Instead of that one-time transaction, like circus coming to town, he invested in a long-term proposition. Genius for that kid. And that Tom guy, give credit to a fellow Tom. Good job for recognizing that and being like, all right, I got it. Let's do it. So, and in return, I bet you what we don't know is that Tom took 50 or 49% of all the companies the kid created and is making more money.
Infrastructure, baby. Infrastructure. Right. But as we have a tangent there, let's go on to partygirls.com here and jump back to what WLI World, whatever it is, finance. What Trump's there. But I think what's interesting here is that we're watching, again, an evolution of crypto right before our eyes. We're seeing the evolution of it going from a very adolescent, even I'd almost say, childlike entity into now it's growing into its structure and what it's going to look like. And to see the freedom come from it that Trump is trying to bring to us or bring to the crypto industry, as well as he himself is in the middle of it, which I think is awesome. I think it's absolutely awesome. And not only is he a guy who's standing back as a legislator trying to figure it out, no, he's elbows deep, knee deep in the mix, trying to figure it out and understand it, and make sure he brings about the correct policies to see it grow and really mature. I.e., today's even statement about, hey, look, I would like for us to actually have no taxes on companies that actually build and develop in America. So I just think I think it's awesome. Absolutely beautiful. And go ahead.
Can't imagine the shenanigans that are going to happen with that. All of a sudden,
oh, bro.
Apple will have the double Dutch, triple Irish subsidiary going that will reinvest in the U.S. And all of a sudden they'll be like, Apple owes no taxes at all. And you're like, well, how is that possible? Well, we transferred our intellectual property to 6 different Dutch corporations, back and forth between the Irish and then the Northern Irish and then back to the Southern Irish and out to the Channel Islands and then to Venezuela and back, only to end up at an indigenous reservation on the island in between Canada and the U.S. And that's where Apple is now headquartered in its startup. You're like, wait, Apple's a startup? Oh, yes, we're a startup. No tax.
But the thing that's going to be so beautiful is that literally, and it can turn into a very vile thing as well, quickly. But this idea that crypto, us being in crypto right now, we're going to have our ears close to the ground. And as we're sitting there, we can see the train coming and be able to catch on that train. And so be ready for a lot of things going in. That's actually going to be happening here. I want to read this last little bit here, which I find really interesting. The project aims to launch a DeFi lending powerhouse, AVA, version 3 platform on Ethereum mainnet to provide liquidity for ETH, wrapped Bitcoin, and stable coins, and other digital assets. World Liberty Finance partnership with Chainlink marks a huge step forward for Eric Trump, Web3 ambassador at the World Liberty Finance, said in a statement. Never before have we been more bullish on crypto or the overall future of DeFi technology. And again, to many of our guys who are on Rumble, you may not realize that DeFi is one of the most liberty-centric technologies out there, next to, I would even say, the United States Constitution, because of what it does and what it allows for. And so I bring this up because many of us over here, over on Rumble, are very centric ideology around the U.S. Constitution. And that's I think it's the right thing to do. Right? It's because the more freedom we have, the more innovation we can see take place. And then from there, we see prosperity come forth from it. Majority of the time. There are some times in history we didn't see that, but 90 out of the 100 times we saw prosperity come from it. So anyhow, what are your thoughts on that, my friend? Or should we go to the next one?
Let's move on to the next one there.
Alrighty then.
Oh, hold on. Well, let's do ourselves a favor, Pedro, and take a quick break here and talk to the various audiences. Our YouTube audience is getting a little tired, as they say, but Rumble is going at it. We'd like to hear from you guys. We'd like to hear comments. We're an interactive live show here. We're mostly on during the daytime here, a daily talk show. The DYOR Media Network is our live talk shows that Pedro and I do, but we also have other shows from the Crypto Swamp Creatures, which are our 2 gentlemen from Washington, D.C. Maybe not from there, but that's where they operate as operatives. And they analyze what's going on in Washington, D.C. and the crypto markets and talk about on their weekly podcast about crypto and politics. And we feature those, so you should pay attention to our network. Sign up to our notifications, and when you see the Crypto Swamp Creatures, Chris Alexander and Justin Wallin, pay attention. They have good between 10-minute and 30-minute episodes of things related to crypto and politics. Notably, Justin Wallin is a pollster and researcher into the minds and the habits of what voters do. And so he brings that aspect to it. And Chris Alexander is a former Special Forces operator and intelligence officer that brings kind of the retired military wonk, wonk, wonk talk to things and what happens in the real world, as they say, when bullets are hissing by your ear. So it's a really good conversation to it. And I don't ask, I implore all of you to sign up, follow us, and hit those notifications. So when you see the Crypto Swamp Creatures, you see some really good stuff to be talked about. When you see their shorts online too, because we put YouTube shorts up, give them a watch and give them a like. We'd really appreciate it. And on that note, we want to thank everybody that's been watching us so far. Pedro and I have been trying some new things here tonight to talk about the events going on. There's a lot of important things going on because of the transition going on from one government to another. And in years past, we've seen small differences between one government to another. And in these times when our debt is at $35 billion, when strange ideologies like woke and all that, which I equate to basically the communism mind virus, is now the woke mind virus, is a very similar thing. People want something that's ideal and utopia, but the method upon which they're going about it is not correct. And so we want to talk about that. We want to bring it to everyone's attention. The idea of crypto in that mix is that we're trying to create a way for us to manage our finances ourselves without being subject to the man, as they say. And so, the concept, and I put the couch on to show the flags here for the Rumble crew here.
America.
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 The concept,
Trump.
Right.
Guns.
The concept is that
Joe Rogan.
we're trying to bring levity, education, and entertainment back into the discussion here. Especially now that an administration change is going on, and not just an administration change, a change in Congress, and likely another change in the Supreme Court, as in the next 4 years, it's likely a few people will retire. So these next 4 years are going to be some of the most important 4 years in, frankly, our country's history. And Mr. Trump is in an amazing time to be the president, as the just some things like the Olympics are going to happen in Los Angeles. That's kind of a cool thing. The World Cup is going to be playing in North America. That's an interesting worldwide united thing, and the United States better not mess that shit up. And two, it's likely in 4 years we're going to be going to Mars. At least, we might be there with humans in 4 years, but the way the Mars
we will be there with robotics, though.
Well, yeah, the way that every 2 years launch window to go to Mars quickly without needing shit tons of fuel. I mean, you can get to Mars you could get there in like 6 weeks if you wanted to, but you got to bring so much fuel to accelerate and to decelerate. It's not practical. And so it's a 2-year window, and it's very possible that in these 4 years that Mr. Trump is president, we will send spaceships with robots. I mean, obviously we have robots there now, crawling around the surface, but actual robots, like humanoid robots, to land on Mars, do stuff, and take off and come back, and set the stage for humans to go back to colonize Mars. That's an amazing, amazing time for humanity, and to be president during that time. I wish if I had my sound effects machine running, I'd be playing that presidential music again, Pedro, because I would be saying, Pedro for president, and I want to be the chief space officer. Pedro for president.
The thing is, I have too much of a colored past. There's no way I could ever be.
Oh yeah, no, me either. I mean, Trump's the only guy with 3 wives. I've had Mrs. Striking's my third, and so there's all kinds.
I mean, it's not. I don't even mean that. I mean, I've done some in my mid 20s, and
I think it doesn't matter anymore. Here's the thing, Pedro. If someone now in politics comes up and says, "Oh yeah, but it turns out," and they make the evil picture of you and the bad music, and they say Pedro did this, you just go like this. You respond, you go, "Meh, Trump did it, and he was president," and as long as you address it like that. But if you run for cover and employ PR people to run for cover and go, "Oh my God, we're so sorry, I don't want to get canceled," if you just go, "Okay, well, whatever," then people admire that. And I have to say, as I say over and over on the show, I'm a big fan of the show West. everyone that gets into politics, regardless of your political view, should watch The West Wing, because it's a show on just put your politics aside. It's a Democrat-leaning show. It shows how to think through things correctly when you're in government and represent the people instead of special interest. And the initial part of it is President Bartlett comes out and just in a campaign speech, and when the time when he goes from just the regular rabble of people running for government or running for president to the top guy, he just admits to screwing the milk lobby in New Hampshire. He goes, "Yep, I screwed you guys. I raised the tax on that, and but you know what? It had to be done. Yeah, you guys were getting an unfair deal, and it was causing us so much pain in other sectors that we had to raise the tax on you. And I'm sorry, I did it, but it turned out it made everything great." And as a result, he catapulted to president. And it was that honesty that made him do that. And so what I'm trying to say is that you and I could be president if we just get up there and go, whatever. You guys found those pictures of me in college drunk? Well, who cares?
Y'all found me stripping? Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a $10 super chat on a Rumble. They call it a Rumble rant. On Rumble, they call them rants.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The unnamed donor will be very, very pleased to know that we're associating this rant with them. Thank you very much to everyone over there. And Crypto Mike gives us the happy snail. It's not a snail, but it's a guy with earphones going like that. But when it's the tiny icon here, it looks like a snail. Thank you, Crypto Mike, thank you to the anonymous donor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, here, Dr. Chicken says, self-tipping, question still remains. Form of self-pleasure. We're just going to say yes.
Yes, of course. Yes. Of course. The dopamine still hits, baby.
Right. That's why you never see Pedro from with me on some of these things. You see that I am wearing pants. But with Pedro, you don't know.
Look, listen.
No, that's kids friendly. We don't want to get canceled.
You know what I hope we're going to see less of? I think there was a good point behind it to actually see some cancellation. Some people went too far. I think our society did go far. And some of the cancellation was, I think, kind of appropriate, especially with Weinstein and the Me Too movement, right? Some of that stuff was good. I think it was good. But then some of the stuff just went too far, right? And then the the alt-left just took it, and we saw wokeism go crazy. So I hope we actually see a trot back the middle here, where we can actually tell jokes, make fun of each other, have a good time over a beer, and just BS with one another. And if the far 1% on the right and the far percent on the one on the left want to just argue between us, fine, let you guys argue, but we're going to have a good time with the beer and discuss things. And I think that's what's really needed and what's really important. And I hope we see that. I hope we see again a walk, cruising to the middle, where we can hang out and drink beer and make fun of each other once again for our ideologies. So hopefully that happens. Fingers crossed.
I'll hold a martini up to the Democrats too. If you guys could come back to the table and work with the Republicans and say, let's get shit done, it would be much better than going, but you and you and you.
Well, here's the thing. The centralist Democrats are now Republicans because the far left went too far. It went too far. So it's now it's left. It's far left. And now you're purple. The reason why the red has more red now is because the middle blue has to go red because the far left went too far left. And it's just sad. Anyways, let's just go ahead and go into a couple other things I wanted to talk about here. So let's talk about the overstretching of the government here in America, and how literally we're seeing 18 states go over and file suits sues the SEC over basically overextending their hand in America. That's really interesting. I think it's one of those things that as we progress forward, we're going to see a lot of states literally backlash against many federal agents that overstep their boundaries, one the DOJ, two the SEC, where they just went too far and they're trying to where they should not have been governing. And as you say, they went past their mandate and decided to push past it in hopes to get funding for it. And we're going to see a lot of hand slapping, and I hope we do. What are your thoughts on this? Were you able to read through this one?
Pedro, my thoughts are exactly what these 18 state attorney generals have, and that is that there's no check and balance against the SEC. The Congress, when they created the SEC, they created oversight of it. But if the oversight body has exactly the same views politically, not operationally, but politically, as the agency itself, there's no effective oversight of it. They just they're like, oh yeah, you can screw the crypto companies because we don't want the North Koreans doing everything in this country. So thankfully, we have a republic. We don't have a pure democracy because the republic is
constitutional republic.
Right, we have a division
between that,
and we intentionally create angst amongst everybody as a check and balance. And the states have come back and say, no, this is not right, and we don't care if you're the federal government and you think you have supremacy on everything. We're going to try to stop this. And it's interesting. I mean, it is interesting, the timing that with Mr. Trump coming the president-elect, you think they would just be like, all right, let's see and see what happens here. But they went ahead with it anyway.
They moved forward hard.
They moved forward, and because from reading the article, it's my opinion that they wanted to do that to stop last-minute hurt. People, when it's a common human trait to enact revenge, and it's a character flaw that humans over time have dealt with poorly. And that is when you lose something or when you're proven to be the outsider on something, you try to ruin the winners and just rain on his parade. And that's what's going to happen with this. And what these attorney generals are like, wait a minute, these next 2 months could be very damaging, because if Congress enacts a law, Mr. Trump can't undo laws quickly. Even Congress can't undo laws quickly. The process to enact law has 90-day review for this, 180-day reviews for that. There are lots of things that need to go on to change laws. So they're trying to stop everything in its tracks right away, which I kind of agree with. I don't want the SEC, the CFTC, and other people doing things in these last months when all the people leaving Congress have effed off. All the people leaving the Senate have effed off. Their staffers are gone. The lobbyists that had access to them don't have access to other people. You don't want them leaving a core group of people that can get bad shit done. You don't want that. And so, hopefully, this lawsuit will keep the SEC really from doing anything at all until Mr. Trump is, or I should say President-elect Trump, is inaugurated in January.
Well, and I would say also jumping back to Rumble here, Dr. Fire Chicken brings up a really good point, is that it really also delineates between this administration and Trump's administration, and seeing that go at this moment versus in the next couple of months being brought would be one of those things that almost fall on Trump's administration and make it look like it would be attached to him. Right? So it's one of those moments that just like, and I hate to say it, most people forget that the jab, right, the COVID shot, right, that was actually developed and pushed underneath Trump. And people forget that, like they forget that. And so that fell underneath Biden's administration because he's the one who rolled it out, pushing it out. We get that many of the Democrats are like, we're not going to get a shot. Why are you going to put a shot in our arms? And then once Biden's administration stepped in, they're like, sign me up and give it to me right here, right? So it was it's this thing. So I think that difference between to see these states step in, push it at the end of this administration, one does put a stop on maybe progressive movements happening again in the lame duck movement or in the lame duck set. But it also delineates between this administration and the next administration as well. So it's going to be real interesting as we move forward. I also want to read off those states as well so that people know what it is. It's going to be Kentucky, Nebraska, Tennessee, West Virginia, Iowa, Texas, Mississippi, Montana, Arkansas, Ohio, Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, Utah, Louisiana, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Florida. And many of those, just so you know, were literally the swing states as well, where during the last election we saw that. So it's really interesting to sit there and see that it's this push of, hey, you're trying to stop us from developing what we want to do in our state when it comes to cryptocurrency, and you don't have that right. And to watch him just Gensler just keep pushing his agenda when he shouldn't have been even there in the first place. It's almost like a married couple in the bedroom, and all of a sudden the coolie man goes, "I'm here," right? So it's a get out.
I just shot vodka up my nose. I'm sorry, not vodka, gin. I got juniper berries in my sinuses.
Saw you do that was last minute, bro. I was setting that up so much.
Doughboy or Michigan man or the Kool-Aid guy.
The Kool-Aid guy jumping up in the bedroom. What up?
And I was like,
what did he used to say? What did he used to say? His statement, Kool-Aid 3. This is the next level. But here's the thing, though. Gensler should have never been in there. Should have never been in those situations. And again, he was overstepping, and this is where we're seeing these states finally have the ability to sit there and say, "Get out of our bedroom. You're not supposed to be here. Go." And it's kind of a beautiful thing.
I've had 2 comments on the back channels here about this topic here. Not what we're talking about, but whatever lighting you have changed for tonight, you have the Jesus halo look going on here. You've got the hair's out, and you've got a light around you, and your virtual camera is doing something different. And so I think Dr. Chuck, did you get a new light? Is that what's going on?
I kind of because I thought it was kind of dark yesterday.
Too bright.
It's in my face here.
No, but it's the glow, as you can see on the studio feed here, is giving you the halo effect. So I think what we should do is redirect the conversation back to Bitcoin.
That's where we're going.
And we should have you put up your hair, and Dr. Chicken is gonna pump Bitcoin because of it.
There we go. All right, we got it. We on it. Oh shoot! Did I throw? Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm getting old. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. All you women watching us tonight, I know both of you.
Oh wait, you're right.
Maybe one of you, maybe none of you. This is the point where Bitcoin pumps. It's whenever Pedro, well, he's doing something here with the charts here. So let's put it up here and see. Put the minute chart up. That's what you got to do. See, we got some serious talks tonight about politics and this type of stuff. Getting a good crowd here on Rumble and that type of stuff. But you have to realize it is edutainment. So at some point we have to entertain you, and this is it. Okay. Huey Lewis and the new song, and this is it. Please help me now. He's got it high. He's got it high and tight now. We're ready. We're ready for Bitcoin to pump. Put it on the minute chart here, and let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. All right, let's see what's going on here.
While we're waiting for Bitcoin to pump here, the volume's low and it's consolidating, but it's got a little. It's got that little flag with the limp dick on it, so it's probably going to dump. But But anyway, thanks to everyone that's watching on the various platforms.
Yes.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We've been doing these live shows for a long time here, and we're doing the evening shows now just to entertain all of you and to make sure that Pedro and I have no lives other than sitting in front of the camera and talking and entertaining and educating you at the same time. And I would say that the past hour or so, we've been doing more educating, talking about politics, how it interacts with crypto.
And how the interchanges go.
Yep, I agree with that. And so that's fun, knowing that happens. And knowing that we're getting such a good crowd on Rumble, we really appreciate it. It's been a boon to our viewership, and we really, really appreciate all of you viewers on Rumble. And I've tweeted a number of times to the Rumble brass, as they say on their account, show us the love, put us on the main page to really bring our form of edutainment, where crypto meets politics and meets what the needs of the American public, or I should say the worldwide public, on the front page, to really crank up the viewership. So if you're watching out here on Rumble and you also have Twitter, find the DYOR Media posts, not tweets, but posts, and share them and repost it and comment on it, and let's get the attention of the Rumble brass to say, this show needs to be favored, this show needs to be featured on the front page.
That would be great.
Because frankly, the front page of the live shows are all like shows with like 10,000 viewers, 20,000 viewers. Steve Crowder with 2 million viewers. That type of stuff. But they have the page 2 still has 800, 900, 1,000 people watching. We would like to be on that page. So if the viewers could help us out, we'd really appreciate it.
That would really help out so much, guys. Like I said, we're a small show here, and we kind of count on you guys. We really do. So appreciate it if you guys even jump in there and chat with us. We always enjoy the chatting. As you can see, we have Dr. Fire Chicken in there. We've got AI Wolf. You've got Pedro Garcia there. So appreciate all you guys' help. And as our good old friend Kool-Aid Man says, yeah. Here we go. Kool-Aid Man. Now let's jump back here. We got one more thing. We were talking about Gensler, our good old friend here. And the last article I wanted to bring up here, because I thought was really interesting, is the who we potentially are going to be. And I think I love the picture here, dude, of him. Watcher Guru did such a great job. Shout out to Watcher Guru. If any of you guys haven't checked out Watcher Guru, they are another great platform. They get the news out there quick, really quick. And so go check out them. You can find them on Telegram and many other places online here. And so it's one of the other things we look at. We also pull from Cointelegraph, as well as who else? CoinDesk. We pull from quite a bit, a lot of the news sources. They do a great job. Bitcoin.com. They do a great job. We pull a lot of stuff from there. Also, yours truly is a op-ed writer over there. So appreciate that as well for you guys. So it's cool. Whoop, 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 whoop. But always looking to be really, just make sure we're getting the cutting edge of the news, crypto, and bringing you guys good insight to potentially get you prepared for this bull run, so you can get in on some good plays and hopefully make some life-changing real money for your offspring and your posterity. So
well, I gotta tell you,
so let's jump back.
Pedro, just quickly before we jump back into that point, that point of making, we're still early in all of this. As we talk about, people talk about the price of Bitcoin going to $100,000 or whatever, and like, oh, I missed it. I didn't buy in when it was $10. That's not the point. We're still witnessing the market cap of crypto is under $3 trillion. It's so low compared to just the value of real estate in Manhattan is $3 trillion, or whatever it is. It's the world is the oyster, and you're seeing a movement of money, of value from other asset classes into crypto, because it's something that governments have less influence on. And the people trust it. People trust it for reasons that they don't trust they trust it because they're like, we don't trust our government for running up debt, so we're going to trust this instead. And that money moving from one asset class to another can empower us that are in it early to basically ensure the safety and security of value and your wealth for yourself and your family and really whomever's in your financial life. And it's not always, there's millions of people around the world that don't have children. That doesn't mean they need to leave inheritance to their children. It can mean they can need to leave inheritance or money to causes or to things that they feel they need to correct. And to give them something that devalues over time is like giving them a used car, like giving a cars for kids. It's like 1-800 cars for kids. They get $500 at a time. They could get $5 million at a time if you leave them Bitcoin in your will. Or the equivalent of the undeflated value of that over the future. So this transfer of value from one asset class to another hasn't happened since basically corporate bonds were invented, and those didn't appreciate in value. Those were just another way to make money. But now we have something that when you invest in it, it appreciates in value. It's a transformative
technology
and asset class.
Yeah, it's a completely different paradigm of finance that is potentially, I wouldn't say potential, I mean, it's already in process of it, right?
Hold on, Dr. Fire Chicken says there are 26 people on Rumble watching us right now. Thank you to everybody on Rumble. For all of you that have accounts on Rumble, hit that like button and comment. We're actually a live show.
Yes, we are.
I'm actually saying this now.
Yes.
And if you comment, we will respond. And Pedro will review a chart. We're not live to tape or anything like that, so we really appreciate you watching and taking the time out of your evening, or if you're on the other side of the world, taking the time out of your morning to watch us. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So let's go and jump back here as we can talk about it. So who will helm the SEC key contender for chairman in Trump's administration? Real people, real topics, real humor. Just as I said with the Kool-Aid Man. Hey! All right. Sorry. All right. Okay. I'm trying to keep that joke alive. Yeah, too soon. I think it's too soon. So basically, long story short, the article talks about Gensler. He's kind of fading out. He's already said, he's looking to the sunset saying, all right, I'm out of here. It's time to get going. And so Trump has actually brought a few people, or even kind of hinted towards a few people. One was Hester Pierce. The other one was Jake, I think I'm going to mess up his name, Chervinsky. And then the other one is Mark Inyude. I was trying to look to actually see how. Yeah, actually how to say it. Nobody actually I kept looking up. Nobody actually says his last name in many of the videos. So I don't know if it's just I have the inability to actually type the wrong thing in the actual things. Like, how do you say this guy's name? But either way, I think I said his name correctly. Forgive me if one day we have him on the show and he's like, bro, you butchered my name. It was this. And I'm like, yeah, I messed that up. Sorry. So in the future, me and him, Mark, my bad. Forgive me. All right. So if he is brought in as the chairman of the SEC, it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens here. But I have to admit, dude, this PFP here, bro, here is hilarious. This needs to be turned into a meme, and that baby needs to get pumped on Pump Fun. It is hilarious. So,
it's Gary. I mean, just Gary's face there. Is that? I mean, Dar Baby says someone just let an AR fly. Sounded like 30 rounds. Are you in Chicago with me?
Did you hear that gun too, dude? What's going on? Duck to the ground. So it's one of those things. I think
that's more like the Fonz. Jeff Legend just outed himself as an old guy here, as we know that the Fonz is part of the Happy Days show. Arthur Fonzarelli. Oh, that's right. Dar Baby's in Florida, right? I forget.
Oh yeah, Dar Baby. Oh, it needs Boner Bill. I'd agree. Dar baby. Sticks of Florida. He's in the sticks of Florida, baby. Sounds like more like the Fonz. Hey. Okay. So what I think what's interesting though is there's this new, and I think he's building a cabinet and a system that is very libertarian based here. I think he's looking for outsiders who can sit there, who understand the swamp, but who aren't in the swamp, right? And I think who he's going to bring in is, I don't think it's going to be any of the people that have been speculated or he's maybe even hinted at. I think it's going to be somebody else that is going to be very much pro crypto. As we read in today's system, he's got a family crypto system that he wants to build by Junior Trump. And excuse me, I don't mean to be burping in your guys' ear. But in the same sense, what I think he's got somebody here is somebody who's going to be a pro crypto person, but also an expert in finance and traditional finance, and has the levy for connection to or relationships with traditional finance to bring them over into crypto and be able to kind of show them really the benefits of crypto. And so I have a couple people I've thought about potentially he could bring in. There are actually insider people within traditional finance that are currently playing. You know, there's a, most people don't know that Bank of America has a few people, they've developed a whole entire ecosystem already set up for crypto. They have a whole entire blockchain. It's a DeFi blockchain. There's a couple people in there that I think he knows he could potentially bring them in as the and they deal and interact with. I mean, Bank of America is the largest megalithic bank, institutional bank here in America, and so to bring them in would be something that would be smart.
They potentially have they have I think they have the most recognized patents in blockchain, DeFi, and crypto of any of the banking organizations. It's in the number of thousands or so. But JP Morgan is not like
not
far
back
behind
from
them. Right.
Yep.
They're doing the same thing, and I'm sure it's going to be an Apple and Microsoft lawsuit war soon between them over over patents and things like that.
I think there very much will be, and I think it's going to be really interesting. But I think we're going to see somebody maybe potentially come outside of Bank of America who's going to help lead the charge within the SEC. Now, I'm not going to give any names because then I'll look like I'm an insider, and I'm not an insider. I'm very much an outsider. But I've got some binoculars.
Are you telling me that you are not in with Jamie Dimon and the whole crew, and you're not going around Wall Street in Lincoln Town cars? Getting wined and dined by everyone there.
Maybe one day, but definitely not today. Nor anytime soon. They're not going to be calling me like, Pedro, we were watching your show where you have literally maybe at the most 20, 30 people there. And we saw you had some great insights. You know, and we see you've been in financial industry for about 20 plus years. We think you got some really good thoughts. Why don't you come over and step into the SEC role? I'd be like, let's fuck some shit up.
Epic, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is the edutainment you get here watching the DYOR Media Network.
Fun's Kool-Aid Man. I love it. That'd be cool. Call me the Kool-Aid Man. Hey, I kind of like that. The Kool-Aid Man. Actually, would be the crypto Kool-Aid Man. I don't know. That'd be a cool little term I could use. Anyways, but I just think it's real interesting to see where this is headed, how it's actually being played, and who's actually going to go through and be set. I think ultimately, whoever it is, I think Trump knows that they need to have the landscape of Washington and the landscape of and the terrain of it, the landscape and terrain of both entities well, and being able to have the relationships to bring people together at the table and really make things happen. You know, he's got 3 years, right? He's got 3 years to make this happen. And so he can't be playing around. He can't sit there. They can't be friends. It's got to be people who can actually accomplish these things. And hopefully he has the ability to do that. Even if he does a quarter of what he says he wants to do, I think America will be in a better place.
I think most politicians are happy if they get 1/10 or maybe 1/80th of what they want to get done. Because most people go to Washington D.C. with the saying, "I'm time for change. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do everything," and then they get there and they're like, "Oh, this is really bad." We had a great example of that in Canada, in the last Parliament, as they say, before the last election. A particular, I won't say which one, but a particular MP got elected from one of the hinterlands in Canada, and went to Ottawa with the idea, like, I've been elected, the people love me, I'm gonna make change, and got there and was like, whoa, wait a minute, we got politics here that I have to deal with. I'm not right all the time. People have other agendas for getting things done, and the things that I think are very important for other people are arguably low profile concepts. And this lady totally blew out, and she resigned her position. She said, I'm done. She said, I can't handle this because these people don't take me seriously. And it's not that they don't take you seriously, it's politics. And the politics people, it's like paying for groceries. It's brutally competitive. And you have to have the right idea at the right time. And if you don't, nobody gives a shit about it. And unfortunately, this lady resigned and went home instead of fighting. And it was a very interesting lesson in politics. And it's the same, it's no different than what we're seeing now. The people are criticizing the election results, and a lot of them are choosing to stay and fight, and other ones are just going, I'm done, screw it. We're out, everyone hates me. And so, politics is tough. It's tough. Just like Chris Alexander and Justin Wallin said, politics is not fair. It's not fair at all. But everybody knows that it's not fair. Not fair at all. And ultimately, in the United States, there's what, what's our population? 380 million? 350 million?
It's like 325. Yeah, it's like 325.
Whatever it is, and we have
and then also the Manhattan is about it's like 170. It's like 175 to $2 trillion. So it's roughly about the same price of what. It's a little bit more than the same price of what the Manhattan real estate is.
Manhattan real estate is the same price as Bitcoin.
Around there. So
it's such a great analogy when you tell people that. When I mean, to think, I mean, I realize Manhattan is quite the valuable place. It's the center of New York, but it's one place. One place. Think of all the other cities: Central London, Central Beijing, Central Shanghai, Central Hong Kong, Central Delhi,
LA,
Mexico City, LA.
All these places, Seattle.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. Pedro, I've got to take a 1 minute break here, as they say.
All right, we'll go over some charts, and if you want to, we can kind of close up here, and we're coming up to that time period.
We can go a little bit longer if you want here. Right. I just needed to. This thing's been dry too long, so I've got to.
All right, go do your thing. It's all good. Go and go fill that baby up.
They call it a bio break.
A bio break. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and pull up some charts here as we move forward. So let's go ahead and pull up, and as I always like, some people were trying to look at Atom here. Actually, let's see, since I pulled my hair up, see if BTC started going. So it did actually up a little. I think it was around this period here. It's when it went up, but it kind of and then came back down. So it's actually trying to find support on that 8 period moving average. We can see this right here. So this is when I pulled my hair up. So it went up here and then came back down, and now we're seeing it kind of go back up here Actually, I think it was right here. It was about a half an hour ago. So wait, what is that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30 minutes ago here, back at this point. What was the timestamp when I pulled my hair up? That's just hilarious. It just kept cracking me up with this stuff. Oh, snaps. Dr. Fire Chicken. Appreciate that again. Out of dollars till payday. Good thing that it's tomorrow. Let's push this Rumble algorithm. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much again, Dr. Fire Chicken, for throwing some cash out there, getting the algorithm getting going. Really appreciate that. Hey guys, over on Rumble, please hit that like button. Jump in. We are a live show. So what you're seeing is happening in real time, and you can actually call me, talk to me, let me know what you want me to look at, or I won't say call me, but you can talk to me here. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Now let's go ahead and check out what BTC is going to do here. It's actually looking like it's finding support on that 8-period moving average, and potentially we should see at least climb up to that 200 period on the daily, or not on the daily, excuse me, on the 5-minute, should be that 88, 80, 87 area. Let me go ahead and just run through this cycle here real quick. Let's see what's going to go on. Boom. What's going on with that daily? Boom. Nothing there. Really nothing there until we get about right there. We got that 20 on the 4. We got that 8 here. So between that 88 to that 86 area. And let's see the day. Oh, dude. Yeah, we could climb all the way up into this level here easily.
Are you looking at Bitcoin again?
Yeah, Bitcoin. We're looking like we're finding support on that 15 and 5-minute 8 here, and potentially just be able to catch it from that 33 or 331 area to the 905 area, which could be a potentially clean shot all the way up there. We're starting to see more volume come in on this last 15-minute here, which is always a good sign. That's one of the things I like to see, where it's finding support. Came down first here, and it's looking like it wants to kind of catch up. So we got this next hour candle here coming in. So this is kind of looking nice here, coming down. Nice little crossover here, come down to go up. So it's looking pretty hot. Kumgar, what's up? Nighttime is the right time. Come on now.
Dr. Fire Chicken, out of dollars till payday. Good thing that is tomorrow. Let's push this Rumble algorithm. Thank you very much for the $5 Rumble rant. We really appreciate it. As we always say, everything that our lovely viewers donate, it goes to improve the show and help get the word out that we have the most amazing thing going on in the world here. Because our show is absolutely the most amazing thing in the world going on. But anyway, thank you, Chuck, our prolific donor. We really appreciate it. And if everyone could emulate Dr. Fire Chicken, we really appreciate it immensely. Really appreciate it a lot. You be swell. You be absolutely swell. Tommy Jean, good night. Anyways, okay, so seeing this little pump here, we could potentially see it actually go up here, which I just find it so funny. But I wanted to check out one of the things that I always look at. Gala has been actually looking fairly okay. Gala,
had a little
metaverse?
Yeah,
Are we talking metaverses now?
Metaverses. Yep. This big pump here has had nothing but pullbacks, then push up, pull back, and this is a good sign. All right, it's saying that money is coming into. You see this right here, where you saw it sell off and push back up, sell off, demand waves push back up. So the fact is that we're seeing it come down here is a good sign of a good area you might want to pick up. Now, what I don't like is that we got a pretty big increase in volume. But again, we've talked about being able to capture markets, right, that we know that in the future we're going to see money cycle into as it moves up, right? So I'm looking for Gala. It's right now it's sitting at about that 2 cents area, 242 area, and I'm looking to be picking up a little bit more at that 019 area, and potentially between here. So just to throw that out to you guys. And also H-bar had a great run a couple days ago, and now it's kind of consolidating. We talked about it finding support on this 8 period as it moves, as it mooses, as it moseys on up into this 40-day or 400-day period moving average. And you can see, I've talked about, we should blow through this, right? And we could potentially see H-bar come up to that 15 cent to 18 cent area. So here we go. Alrighty. Shout out to Joe Rogan, Mr. Trump, Mr. Beast, and Taylor Swift. Well, actually, for you Rumble guys,
No, Taylor Swift. She's
Audi 560. We say that because over on YouTube.
Let's celebrate Oprah Winfrey. Oh no, never mind.
Oh no.
Hey, I didn't realize that they paid her. What'd you say it was? We had a discussion about this before. That they paid Oprah $1 million or something like that to endorse Camilla.
Yeah.
All the other celebrities are like donating their time, and Oprah says, "You got to pay me," and she's a loser. Loser.
But here's the thing. I'll put it like this: what Oprah brings to the table is that she finds talent and she blows it up. That's what separates her apart from everybody else. There's been multiple people that she has taken off the streets and made them, just juggernauts of KOLs. They, some of the stuff that they've done. There was a story of a guy. He did a show on YouTube, and I think he had 8 or 6 people watching him. Okay, but the guy really put on a great show. This is why I talk with me and Tom here. Like, we want to make sure we put on a high quality show, right? Obviously, we have slapstick humor, we have edutainment, and we have real stuff. But we really do our best to connect with our people and really to give you good quality, TA news and just good visuals, right? I think we do a great job on that. But in the back end, jumping back to Oprah literally was watching this guy, watching him create just quality YouTube shows, and then finally had one of her people reach out to this guy saying, "Hey, we love what you're doing. We have a silent investor who wants to invest into you." And so he was like, "Okay, well, what are you thinking?" And they're like, "Well, what's your vision for your show?" He goes, "Well, I would love to build into this and this." Guy was ex-finance guy and was actually pulled out his finance money and was creating this epic quality YouTube show, and which i.e. me and you were doing. And so what was so interesting, it was
viewership went boom.
She announced him on the show saying this guy is great, and he went from 6 or 8 people to 3 million people watching him on a daily basis or weekly basis, and do a great job. And so again, it's not that she is an amazing person. It's that she's able to find talent, and then she's able to nurture that talent and make it explode. And so, that's what she brings to the table. So when she sits there and she goes, "If you want me to back you, like, I have such a great track record, y'all need to pay me, because having my backing makes you look good." So, in many of the left-leaning culture, having her opinion of you is an important thing.
Dr. Fire Chicken said, "Pay for all those holiday gifts. A car for you, a car for you, a car for you."
Yeah, absolutely. She's kind of crazy on that sometimes, though.
Dar Baby says, the view needs to be removed. Why isn't that? Why isn't that on? Oh, sirens again.
Oh, there it goes.
It's Chicago, ladies and gentlemen. There's carjacking going on. Dar Baby says the view needs to be removed. Dar Baby, I don't know if you have Instagram, or if you do have Instagram, if you get this particular account. There's a guy that makes fun of the view. I'll get the actual account name of it. But he's a video editor or something like that puts himself in the View's show and talks about how crazy they are. It's the funniest stuff ever. And he's always like eating an apple or chewing on a banana and making fun of the people on the View for being so one-sided about things. It's hilarious.
That's the problem that's so bad about them, is how one-sided they are. This is the part, like, I think some of the stuff that they do bring up, I'm like, okay. But then they swing so far left, goes from like, I could see that to, hey, let's kill babies in an oven. You know what I'm saying? Called the belly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait, what? Where do we go here? You know, it's like, I'm sorry, that's horrible. I should have said that. But you get what I'm saying.
We'll just chalk that up to an emotional outburst there, Pedro. But I get your point. The View brings that out on people. It brings out, they make, Whoopi and crew make such outlandish statements. I mean, basically they were saying the other day that as of, what's the inauguration day? As of January 21st? Everyone's rights would be curtailed, and we would all have to be wearing burqas, and even not only women, but men would have to stay inside and ask for permission to go outside. And we're like, come on, really? Is that really? Is
that really where we're at? Right.
And what network is running them? ABC.
Yeah.
Are they that out of touch? ABC brass that out of touch with not only the American people, but all people. That is an opinion you want on your platform. I wouldn't even, Pedro, you and I allow basically everything on this platform. But if someone said that when a particular person gets sworn in to be president, we're just all going to the gulag, we would be like, okay, that's a little crazy.
And here's it, they're
Perhaps
serious.
We won't entertain.
They're not even joking. They're 100% serious at this.
I know.
Did you watch it? Like, I wish we could show. Like, I've seen it, and I'm just sitting there going like, dear Lord, are we? Or they're encouraging people to not have babies, right? And to hold out and divorce and celebrating breaking up of families because people don't side with them. And I sit there and I'm like, is that really where we're at now? Like, and here's the thing. If you logically walk that through, like, let's just say the people like literally really follow that. And you see a lot of liberal women divorce their husbands, okay? and stop having babies. That's the worst thing for you to do for your cause. Like, if you look at the Islamic ideology, one of the great leader says, listen, we need to have more babies. The more babies we have, the more we can indoctrinate these babies into the Islamic thought process. And so 20 years ago, they went on a baby boom. And so they were literally, taking over the world by babies. And that's literally, it's just like it's like the worst thing for you to tell somebody to do. If you want to see your ideology grow, the best way to see your ideology to grow is literally through the children you rear. Okay, it's just everybody knows
that's how it works.
Yeah. So I just think it's just crazy that the backward thinking behind how they see things just blows my mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You think I'm wrong? I could be wrong. But I would have said the opposite. I would have been like, have babies. Go out and have babies. and then tell these right-wing men, shut up. Right? Like, I ain't going to give you anything.
It worked here, ladies and gentlemen. This account on Instagram, Damon Imani, he's not even an American. I don't think he's ever been to America. I think he's either Romanian or Hungarian and stuff, but he's a video producer, and he's effing hilarious. And he inserts himself into the Views show via video editing, and it's epic. It's absolutely epic. It's one of the best Instagram shows ever. And now I started watching him when he had 1,800 followers. Now he's got 446,000 followers. And it's simply epic stuff. It's the best humor, and it's not only humor, it's common sense mixed in with it's edutainment, Pedro. That's what it is. It's edutainment, and he educates people. Yeah. And mostly
he does a great job
through inserting him into the Views show, and it's hilarious. It really is.
His sarcasm great too. His dry humor and how he delivers it is so good. I've
Yes.
seen videos of him
Yes,
of literally like 500,000, 3 million views, and you see these far left people going, "How dare you? This I can't believe!" And you see them fighting with him, like, and because as if he's actually been on the show there with them. Like,
Yes.
and it's like
No,
they can't even read
it's
back.
hilarious.
They can't even read through the sarcasm in the midst of it. What do they call that? Why am I forgetting the type of style of humor that is? Satire. Satire is absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. So, anyways, sorry about that.
No, it's awesome. I love every second of it. And that's the point of our evening shows.
Satire.
During the day, I guess we talk about more about degenning and trading and all that. But these evening shows are more about a discussion that's going to land everybody in the thinking mode into what's going on, not only in their life, but in the life of their country, in the life of their politics and all that. And we're having a lot of fun with it. We're having a lot of fun with it. And I must say, our viewers at Rumble, thank you very much for joining us. We can't say enough about that platform. YouTube has been derating people that talk politics, and our intent is not to talk politics. Our intent is to talk where our industry, the crypto and digital assets industry, is restricted in the US by politics. So we end up talking about politics, and Pedro had forced us to talk about the election, even though 4 weeks ago we were like, we can't talk about the election, we can't name names, because YouTube will derate us. And then we said, all right, we'll open up a channel on Rumble, and boom, our viewership doubled, just like that. So
Literally.
thank you.
Literally.
We thank everyone on Rumble for doing it, especially our loyal followers on YouTube that moved over there to enjoy the freedom of our First Amendment rights of being able to say what you want without being kicked off. And Pedro, one of the things I want to point out is that YouTube derates people because they say it's not going to be advertiser friendly. And you look at the people advertising on YouTube, and then you look at the people advertising, or I should say companies advertising on Rumble. They're the same companies.
Same dudes. Same
Chevrolet,
things, everything.
hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. It's the same companies that are advertising. And so that whole BS are like, oh, we can't have people talking about controversial subjects. No, it's the same companies. And not only that, what I learned from working the Rumble advertising stuff that you have to do behind the scenes and search engine optimization is that Rumble uses the Google video delivery system, I forget the name of it, which is the same thing that YouTube uses. It's the same. It's the same infrastructure, and just YouTube says, "Oh, we can't show controversial subs or allow you to talk about controversial things."
It's BS.
It's exactly, it's BS. So thank you to everybody. Thank you everybody on Rumble that's been joining us. We have gone on for a long time tonight. We're at almost another 3 hours of streaming, Pedro. Did
what's interesting?
1 hour from the chair, 2 hours from the couch, and I had one martini, and now I'm having a nice bourbon, and so I appreciate everyone that's having a bourbon with the boys.
With us, bourbon with the boys. You know what? I mean, you might have to tell the wife, man. You might need to start doing this at least an hour a night, dude. Because I mean, dude, we've seen an increase of our followership over on Rumble here, and we're seeing with it an increase in viewership doing this. I mean, even today during our actual show during the afternoon, we saw big numbers. And listen, just so you guys know, over here, it took us how many years for us to get to 100 people, right? Me and you working hard to get up to
a long time. I mean, Pedro, when we started this, I would put my phone on to get one more view. So we had 3 viewers, 4 viewers.
Yeah,
and
I remember
you did
this.
Too.
Yes.
We did the same thing with Rumble too, but also with YouTube. We'd be so happy we had 10 people, and I knew that you and I were 2 or 3 of them.
Yes, we were happy.
I know, very
Yeah.
happy. And now tonight we've had more than 100 viewers of our show. Really appreciate it. But hold on, let's slip back to the comments real quick. And one of the things we always want to do is make sure our viewers are happy. And Jeff Ledger from Genu says, volume is our problem and gas fees aren't helping. You mind taking a look at the Genu chart? Everything I can do to get eyes on us. A shill here, and I may have to get you both hoodies.
Dude, give me a good hoodie.
Well, Pedro can take the hoodie. I have one good hoodie. I only have one hoodie, and my mom bought it for me. I'm telling you that because I'm proud of that. My mom thought I was 20 years old. But anyway, it's a great hoodie. If you want to give me a hoodie, donate it to someone else. But Pedro is going to pull up the Genu chart, and we're going to talk about
if you want to
Genu.
give me a hoodie,
You guys have been great to us.
I would.
If you give Pedro a hoodie, make sure it's got a logo on it here, so he can wear it.
Yeah, right here, like right here. That'd be dope. And also, just so you know, make it Egyptian cotton. I know I'm a snob when it comes to actually wearing clothes. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. That's the reason why, because it's got to be 100% cotton. I like soft cotton, just so you know. And if it's not soft cotton, I'm not gonna wear it. If it's a mix of like rayon or polyester, I'm not gonna wear it. It's got to be cotton. Just giving you heads up. I forgive him. Just letting you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's the whole name for it? A gas station boner Inu.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of guys with cars, crypto, and chicks, as they say, and we obviously have to say that's a good thing. But anyway, let's get their chart up. It's been doing well lately. They as any crypto does, it goes up and then has pullbacks and stuff like that.
Bro,
because that's what people do.
We have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. We'll go over that in just a second. I just pulled up JBee. Remember?
GameStop.
And I said, yeah, GameStop's bet. Look at this, bro. Remember, remember up here, he's like, it's not going to come down to here.
Right.
Remember?
It went right down.
Came down to it. They stopped, whoever was buying this stopped everybody else out, and look at it, dude. Came up to our supply area here, and now is now going to consolidate. Hitting this area. So just to shout out GSB, we should see GSB create a new all-time high here. The next one, this should be, they got good volume coming in, great volume, low volume on the sell. We should see this baby pump here for GSB. So shout out to you guys. GSB, got to get him to come back in. Shout out to you guys. All right, let's check out Ginu, Ginu.
Gas station, boner Inu.
Boner Hill, Inu. There we go. There we are. Check out our merch store, baby. That's what I'm talking. Volume. What do you want, Tom? Coffee mug. Ah, there we go. Coffee mug. You can do a coffee mug. Yeah. All right, baby. This is what dude, yes. Dude, this is beautiful chart, man. All right, dude. So the fact, what you talking about, Willis? Good. Guys came down to my area. Boom. You didn't even come down to my area. You actually were able to garner enough. Good job. All right, guys. So let's check out your weekly chart here. You're above the 8-period moving average. You guys hit the supply area here, having a decent sell-off, which is a good thing, right? All these guys here, they're going to come down, hit out. And just so you guys know, as you check this out here at Ginu, one of the things that I really like about them is this, and this is one of the things I do get excited about them, is they stand for men and women being able to go out there and enjoy life and not have to be basically controlled by the woke ideology of the far left and also the far right, because there's a lot of crazy ideology on that end, right? So, and no intended on the right, but on that same sense, they just all about have a good time, be able to live your life. It's more of a libertarian ideology and thought process behind this coin. So I like what they stand for and what they're trying to do. And I'll read up the little stuff they actually have going on here. And I need here we go. Come It's right. Come let your nuts hang with Gino. Let's inject some testosterone into the space, burn some fossil fuel, lift heavy objects, and leave our carbon footprint on the world. I thought it was hilarious. So if you want to support these guys, they're trying to do something here. I like them. They're still a small cap. So if you're looking to kind of get into something that's even funny, they're still under 300,000 market cap right here. And it's looking good. You guys tapped 3,400 market cap. $340,000 here was your guys' peak, which is pretty awesome, pretty strong there for you guys, right? And then additionally to that, so you guys are coming down. You guys came down for this evening. Where's a good buy area here? I like this area right here. This is a nice area. Here we go. There we go, right there.
Genu guys got it going.
Nice little chart, guys. You guys are good. I like it. And we're gonna, that's the weekly chart there. So we're going to move that. Actually, we'll move this right here potentially. So you guys can have a little wiggle when you guys come down right here. You got that 8-period moving average sitting right here. You've got decent amount of volume coming in. I see people definitely coming in buying this right here, potentially at this level. Good little sell-off here where we can see it kind of come back up. But here's the other part. Coming down to that $240,000 market cap is a great buy area. In all honesty, I know you guys don't want to hear that, but this right here is good, right? This would put a really good look on the chart. And then additionally to that, you get people again to come back, buy this area, and then see it continue higher into the next leg up. And here's the thing, Bitcoin is kind of coming back. We've talked about how we should expect to see it kind of come back. And so this would be a good area as Bitcoin finds support again to see it continue and push up. And I know you guys like, we have nothing to do with Bitcoin. That's a big juggernaut of a company. Here's the thing. Bitcoin is like the tide. When tide comes in, it raises all boats, right?
Right.
Right now, you're a small boat, but you'll see the rise in it. So I want to encourage you with that aspect. Check you out. You guys are doing a great job. And on the back end here, I like this area right here. I also like the 26, 00026 area here as well. That 8-period moving average here, potentially we can see we've been playing off of the weekly 8 or the daily 20-period moving average here. So it's gonna be really interesting to see as you guys progress. But listen, man, you guys are doing a great job with your chart. You know, you guys, I see you guys always on the Zach Humphreys show. I also see you guys over at the Soka, which is the Jake Gaetz show, right, for DeFi, what he does over on Spaces. So keep doing what you're doing. You're gaining momentum, and sooner or later, boom, it's gonna pop. It's gonna pop like popcorn, baby. So there's another T-shirt. There's another T-shirt out there. Another T-shirt comic. I'm sorry, dude. I don't even know why I even say this stuff. I literally don't even know where it comes from, bro. Sometimes I'm just like, where did that come from? Pop like popcorn. It's probably just sitting in the back of my head. I've heard it like throughout my life. Anyhow, so pretty cool. I like what you guys are doing here. It's looking good. It's absolutely looking great. Any comments you guys want?
Thank you to the whole Gina crew for watching us. We really appreciate it. Jeff Ledger and crew, thanks for the technical difficulties. Video. You and I are on Spotify because of the Genu crew.
Yes, we are. There's a song literally about us.
And what would I want as swag? Just a coffee mug. I drink during our show, our time show. I always have tea or coffee, depending on kind of where I am and my mood for the day. And so a coffee mug is always nice. But if you want to donate the $1.65 to a good cause, that's also fine. Dr. Fire Chicken says, Teen Rumbler is still here. Rumble, thank you guys very much. You guys have been very good. We really appreciate it. There's lots of shows on Rumble that are great. and very popular, and lots of them that are just terrible but get great viewership. The fact that you guys are watching us is very cool. J Crypto, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. J Crypto says, buy Geno. And so let me get the comment on the screen there. Buy Geno. And that is obviously J Crypto's opinion about that, but we're just forwarding that on for you. We really appreciate. We have not invested in Geno, but we don't invest in every group we talk about. But we do appreciate every group that comes on and talks about their project and brings their viewers here. Frankly, it's wonderful to see all these projects trying to make things better for themselves and for crypto in general. And the fact that your project is talking about lot lizards and gas station boner in you pills, however you want to say it, and it's getting traction, it's a good thing. Can only be a good thing. Yeah. So we thank you very much. Let's see, what else we got here? Dr. Fire Chicken is reporting on what's going on the whole night. So thank you very much.
Just so you know,
yes,
just in, 84-year-old Nancy Pelosi officially files for re-election in 2026. She will be 40, or she will be 86.
What? Filed for re-election?
Yes.
I mean, is that the definition of narcissist?
Like, I hope. Like, we can. I mean, how long has she been in office? Do we know? Like, how long has Nancy Pelosi been in office?
Well, I'm sure someone will tell us real quickly, but it's too long. It's too long.
That is crazy.
And usually when someone's in office that long, and what's happened here in Illinois is that when I won't say which party, the Democrats, when they've been in power so long in Cook County, Random County, what they've done is infiltrated the election process for the opposing party, and that's happened here in Cook County. The Illinois House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House of Illinois, is on his way to prison for various corruption activities. And one of the things that he would do was send people from his party to pretend to be people from the other party and get elected into position where they would not run anybody against the. And that's happened with Nancy Pelosi. She very rarely runs against anyone of any stature because in that small district where she's gerrymandered into only the people that vote for her, nobody can penetrate them. And when you're Pedro, when you're 86, you still want to be fighting a battle of the hugest proportions. And for the future of our country, or when 86, do you want to be going, I taught all those people well, and I just want to sit back and chill? The fact that she's still, no, go ahead and answer that.
I honestly, first of all, she's been in office for about 36 years now. So she got into office around in her 50s. Okay. Think about that. And I can understand.
Says Moses voted for her. She saw the burning bush and she's like, I must run for office. I must create the New Testament. Oh my God.
But I put it like this though. So, but here's the thing, I don't want some 20-year-old running for office in all honesty. You don't know his left nut from his right. Right. But in the same sense, I don't want some 90-year-old person or even 80 plus where that, I mean, I guess as long as she is coherent and she's able to really handle things on an efficient level, right? Like we know through science, and I'll put it like this, Trump, I'm glad Trump says this is my last run. I'm 81 years old, dude. Like this, I'm not gonna. This is it. Obviously this is it for him because he's, I mean, he can't run again. But like the fact is that he said, look, if I don't get elected this time, I'm not running. Like I'm just not. We're talking extra 4 years. He wants to spend time with his kids, and the fact that Pelosi is sitting there, it would be interesting. It would be really, and I'll put it like this: Trump picked a great VP. I mean, we've yet to see this, but he's picked a great VP. We think, and he's also has some good people around him, like he's got Rubio. He's got yeah. Why do I always forget his name? It actually very much.
In Rubio.
No, not Rubio.
Hi, I'm Rubio.
No, why? Come on, bro. Come on. I don't know why I'm forgetting the guy's name. He's part of Doge. Not Musk. Ramasamy, or holy crap. Why is that? I look like a complete idiot. Like legit. Like everybody's like, why is this guy running his own show? He's a complete idiot. I don't know. I'm good at TA. That's pretty much it. And I've got rogue ideas that people find interesting. Oh dear Jesus, please help me. Why aren't you giving me the name here?
Just move on. Move on.
No, but this is important, right? When he goes out, he's put some good young people who are smart. So when he leaves, like you said, he'll sit there and be able to see Vivek,
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. Holy moly, that was so hard for me to bring to the tip of my tongue. But he's got these smart people there, and so when he decides he wants to bounce, like he's going to be able to lead people there and be able to say, all right, I've got a good cabinet here. These people are in position to really carry on and see a free, small government, large state population be able to run the country as it was intended to be run. And I think that's important. And when you look at, well, Nancy Pelosi, right? If she runs for president, and honestly, the only person I think could potentially see that could rival, let's say, I mean, we've seen this many times, right? Where as a president, their vice president becomes president, right? We've seen it many times in history here in America. And so you see Vance come in. Who else are they going to bring to the table?
Right.
Like who? I mean, obviously you're not going to bring Biden, and I think you can't have Obama. Right. The next person I would assume to get behind her or to get behind that would be Nancy Pelosi, or maybe even who else do you think they could bring up as a candidate that it would be somebody viable that the Democrat Party, who are now siding Republican thought process, maybe AOC, but she's so far left that your central Democrats who voted Republican or conservatism because they can't sit there and identify with her. So maybe her as a young person, she could have some real traction there, but if she ain't going to get the centralists, I think they'll stay over in the Republican side until they come.
All I can do, Pedro, is shake my head and to think that when I hear you say that Nancy Pelosi is going to run again.
She might. She already put it out there, but that's if she lives.
Right. That's the point. When I get to a certain age, I want to enjoy my life in relaxation, enjoying what my kids are doing or produced. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not someone that has to be important. I don't give a shit. Like all you people watching the shows, I'm so thankful for you to watch Pedro and I talk about it. But it's not like I have to do it, otherwise I don't feel important. And Nancy Pelosi and people that stay on till ever, like Mitch McConnell, unfortunately, he's a Republican in this group, that Strom Thurmond, does everyone remember Strom Thurmond? That keep at it. They keep doing it until they literally die. Dianne Feinstein, she went at it so long that people had to whisper in her ear, yes.
She was literally almost senile. I mean, she was in her
cadaver.
wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah.
She was a
I remember
cadaver, and
this.
people still voted for her. Like, all of California is full of dumb people for voting for her. Like, no, I'm saying
Come
it,
on, man.
Pedro. I'm saying it.
No, you cannot do that, because the reality is I know many bright people in California that literally work 2 jobs,
And they
right?
voted for
Raise
someone
family,
that couldn't
and they don't
even
even have
speak.
time to sit there. Honestly, I think California is such a high rate of living. It's very hard to sit there. And so you don't got time to really go out there and research. The majority of them are sitting there just trying to make it. And I think the Democrat society is purposely doing that to over push that, to get them high taxes, have all this stuff where they've got to just work 2 jobs just to live at a neck level where they can keep breathing with their head above water. But I can't call them dumb, because the reality is I know too many smart people out there. So I would disagree with you. I think the circumstances is different.
I lived in California.
And here's the thing,
Oh, no, I'll give you that argument, Pedro. But I lived in California in 2000, and my neighbor in my apartment, I lived in Southern California in Los Angeles. He was a staffer for Dianne Feinstein. And in 2000 or 2001, whatever year it was when I spoke with him, he said that she was not with him back then.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
that is something. And to have another 2 Senate elections, or 3, vote for her, and to the point where the news media is catching her sitting there catatonic, and the people are whispering, vote yes, say the word yes, it is unfortunately
it's part of the system.
Let's just say it's unfortunate.
We'll put it as, I don't say unfortunate. And I honestly think that the majority of Californians don't even know that. I think the majority of Californians sit there, they go to the poll because they know it's inundated for them to go do. It's inundated. But I'll put it like this. There is a many portions of California that went red this past time.
Yes.
We saw some. And so you can't sit there and say that they're dumb. Because the reality is even in the midst of them trying to keep their head above water, they're at least reading through. And I don't know, when we vote, you get that thick ass page of all those people you need to know, and you read through their stuff, and you got to understand where their policies at, what they're trying to do. Then you got to go through and research them. And if you got 2 or more kids, you've got to make sure you're feeding. You got to just sit there and then you sit down and talk with your spouse, and you deal with these issues, saying, what do we deal with this, right? I think this is a good policy, and this is a good policy, but like, you got 2 different views here, or 2 different parties. And so it's like, why can't we get a mixture of here? So you got to weigh your evils, right? Like, do I get kicked in the face, or do I get punched in the balls? Your decision, right? Especially being in California,
like
that happens a lot.
Right. It's like the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. What are you going to choose, Pedro? You want to get punched in the face or kicked in the balls?
That's pretty much it. Speaking of that fight, that's going to be a good fight, dude. We were talking about that, but man,
we did not talk
dude,
about
I'm
that
watching
tonight.
it.
I can't wait for it. I can't.
Dude, it's
Pedro,
gonna be so good.
I watched Mike Tyson. My dad paid for the pay-per-view. We'll say, let's see, 1980 something. And we had the square TV with the bulbous thing on it, and it was the Mike Tyson fight. And it was one of the fights where he beat the guy in, we'll say, 10 seconds. I can't remember who, but it was one of those things where he walks out, does this, ducks down, hits the guy in the gut. The guy leans back and then pounds him in the face, and it's over.
Yeah.
And my dad said at the time he was incensed that he spent $30 for that pay-per-view. Now that pay-per-view is like $400 or whatever it is. And he was like, and it was 10 seconds, and I was like this. Oh my God, that was unbelievable. And to think that today, almost 44 years later, Mike Tyson is going to go fight someone else. Even, we shade Jake Paul a lot here. We shade him, we fade him, whatever the term is. He's a young guy. He's built. He's been training. He's been doing all this type of stuff. He's been fighting other people. He's been making money fighting other people. But Mike Tyson is a creature that the world has never seen. He's so fast. He's got these lats that are so fast he can turn. And this part of your body here is your strength, your core strength. And he beats the shit out of people. Even though it's been a long time since he punched that guy in the face at the airplane, and he's beat people up ever. It's going to be so interesting, and I can't wait to watch it.
So I think what's interesting, and I'm going to throw this out because actually Dr. Fire Chicken, jumping back to what we were saying, he goes, at 86, we will be stacking BTC, gold, silver, and Viagra. We'll be putting money on the fire.
I mean,
I agree.
I mean, that's awesome. That the important things is stacking Bitcoin, gold, silver, and you got to reproduce. So you'll be stacking Viagra. Hey, I got 6 Bitcoins, I got 40 ounces of gold, and I got 7 tumblers of Viagra.
That's going to be 40 years from now for me, right? I'm at 86, 86. And I think about it because it's like, by that time, they say within 10 years, we'll have AI, right? And then after that, about 3-5 years, we will have, and when I say AI, I mean AGI, right? And then apart from that, you want to give another 5 years until you have ASI, super intelligence, right? And it's going to be really, and we're talking, this is 15 years out. When I think about this, 40 years out from now, we have seen patents of new technology grow at an increase of literally 600% since the advent of literally, and I'm not going to say artificial intelligence, just algorithmic thinking, okay? And then suggestive thinking from this algorithmic thinking. We've got a 600 increase of creativity, of development, of new materials, new ways of looking at things, patents, you name it, almost 600 all around, since just simple algorithmic thinking and thought processy evolution of that. When we have a real AI, I'm going to be shocked to say that I expect within 10 to 15 years, gold will be obsolete because we will be asteroid mining.
Right.
I
Don't
think
need to ruin
silver,
the planet. Don't need to ruin the planet when we can pull in asteroids.
Yeah. In 15 years, we already know that we're at that point with robotics where we can play video games with them and have them do things already now and do it well. Right? I can see the same thing happening over with us asteroid mining. We're not going to sit there in 15 years. It's 15 to 20 years. It's just going to be a different world, a completely different world.
Agreed.
I would almost say that me and you will literally, I'll be able to meet you in Chicago. And I know they're going to sound crazy, but literally through a holographic setting of literally just dematerializing and open. What do they call that in Harry Potter? When you you come from one place to another.
Well, in Star Trek, you can beam from one place to another.
Yeah, beam. There we go. Star Trek. Trekkie. All you Trekkie guys are going, are you serious, bro? This guy don't even know what beaming is. I know. Sorry about you guys. Forgive me. But in the same sense, I think that's what we're going to definitely see, because with AI, they've already seen, and when I mean just algorithmic thinking, logical thinking at quick speeds that can work things out for us, do quicker calculations for us, right? And this is what I'm saying. And right now they're saying within the this year alone, many of you guys over on Rumble, with the amount of money that Trump is going to push into, and this is the other thing you guys want to pay attention. Cryptocurrency and AI are going to merge okay? As well as we're going to see also most likely, and Watson over at IBM is going to be working with um, uh, 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 quantum computing, which basically can think at multiple thought processes multiple times at 20, 30 times. Like at one period in time, they can have 30 different thought processes. And when you have an AI who thinks at the speed of light, okay, or not even at the speed of light, just say at normal human speed, but can have three thought processes and interact with them and think it through and how to bring this in here, and us working with them
Right.
at 600%. That is still big, but it's going to look like this. We're going to see 1,000% a year. And that 600% was over the last 10 years, 10 to 20 years is where we're at right now. So this is what I'm saying is in 40 years from now, I just can't think what it's going to be like. Either it's going to be a collapse of our civilization and society, and everything eats in on itself, or
Well,
we
Pedro,
become
think 40 years ago in the 80s, it was not even known that black holes exist. The science at the time didn't even acknowledge that the things we thought that in theory might exist actually do exist.
in theory,
And
like
now
dark matter.
Now we know that in the center
Dark
of our
energy.
Milky Way galaxy, there's a giant black hole that's what's sucking everything around in this giant spiral thing. And in the
Called the Milky
largest
Way.
rug pulls, there is that sucking sound of money being pulled in and this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Science advances. Everything in that time frame, that 40 years for us, that has gone on so quickly. I mean, so amazingly quickly, is truly unbelievable. But that's Pedro. I think you and I have gone on long enough tonight.
Yeah. I got to throw this out real quick.
Tell
I'm just
us,
happy.
Pedro.
I'm just really looking forward to when Trump really starts to put money into the situation. I'm really looking forward to seeing Trump actually go through and establish the space force and really get that up and running. It's going to be really interesting to see Elon Musk and Joe Rogan and Elon Musk really push this narrative into the future. I mean, Trump's going to go, I hate to say it, I say maybe 10 years. He's got 10 years of living. 90, he may live to 100, right?
Right.
I mean, really. But that, he potentially lived to 120. I mean, in all reality, right? We've seen people get up pretty close to that. But Elon Musk, Trump, Vivek, Joe Rogan, these guys are influential people that you could literally sit there and go, okay, we should see a progression. If these guys really pushed the acceleration of humanity and put the money in the right places, it's gonna send. I mean, I think we could see human civilization really just progress and get going.
Well, Dr. Fire Chicken says the total medical knowledge used to double every 2 years. Now it's closer to 6 months. One human can never keep up with the evolving knowledge. All medicine is the next level. And I absolutely agree with you. And one of the reasons why is that Mrs. Striking's mother ended up with one of the various blood cancers, and it's being cured by the mRNA process, which the crazy people are saying that stuff is killing people, and that is doing all kinds of bad things. But now that process is literally taking cancer. Let me rephrase that. Taking something called cancer and changing it to a general medical condition that's curable as if it's not an issue at all. And it's an unbelievable process that's advancing so fast. Dr. Chuck, to be in the medical field now is like being in the physics field now, where it advances so fast that things in the 1980s that were canon, that were the law. If you did not believe this in 1989, you were on the outside. And now that's like, oh my God, that's like my grandfather's thinking. Sorry, apparently I chewed part of my mustache off here. But that point, it's so unbelievable that just 40 years ago, that those concepts that we thought were unbelievable are now so like, oh man, that's so 40 years ago.
Right. Like literally, it's like the idea of once they actually started to believe that like the world, and this is, I think this is, most people don't realize, like uh, Copernicus sits there, and when he said the world does not revolve, or the sun and the universe does not revolve around us, this was revolutionary. It was heretical at that time, and people literally were getting killed just even to utter that statement. I mean, that's how big of a statement that this was, right? I mean, it was a big deal to say that the universe did not revolve around us. And on the back, and I'll put it like this, it's so important.
Whole bunch of people got burned at the stake because of it.
Literally. We live in a day and age of, once that was accepted and people started realizing this was the golden age on which we actually call where modern civilization was birthed from. Right, this is where science really started taking on the idea of the scientific method, and as it started progressing, this significant moment. I think it was 1600. This is around right before the Reformation happened, and a lot of stuff that came through, right? But that idea is right now we are starting that next epochs evolution, just like when Copernicus sat there and said the world is stagnant and the earth doesn't revolve around us. That's where we're at right now. We're at that, okay, bunch of people just died, now we're on to the next set of human progression, and it's going to be interesting, and it's awesome because we're in the heart of crypto. So all you crypto guys out there at Rumble, at YouTube, dude, we're here. We're in the midst of this, and we're helping it. And I love it. I love it.
I love it too. Dr. Fire Chicken says, one of my favorite things is actually sitting down as a doctor and explaining to people how this mRNA-based stuff works. And I agree with you. My mother-in-law had a T-cell transplant in which, in order to save her life, they took her own blood cells out of her body, did magic stuff with them, put them back in her body, and she lived. And she's it's been years now that she's been alive, and it's because of the same process that the mRNA. I'm not going to use the word because the YouTube algorithm will ding us. It's the same thing that people are saying, oh, those jabs cause cancer, and it's like, no. It's curing diseases and changing them from cancer into curable syndromes. And it's so amazing. And Pedro, I apologize for taking this a different direction here on this. But when you see people live because of it,
yeah,
and the Twitter sphere is like, everyone's dying because of this, it's so awful. You're like, no, these new things is what are advancing humans past the caveman era. It's just good stuff.
It's literally changing genetics, and I think this is where I think we're going to see some really interesting stuff here as we go through and we start to see things. I think we'll see a new form of evolution in the humankind. I think we'll be able to sit there and say, hey, let's remove this cancer cell, but I think we're also going to see negative impacts come from it. I don't think it's going to be one or the other. I think it will be a mixture of both, where there'll be good and bad that comes for it, right? It's just like in the idea of penicillin. Penicillin was phenomenal. It helped us out tremendously. But now in today's world, we're getting super viruses now, right? The idea of Dr. Fire Chicken. What's it called when, and you, Tom, you might know this, but when they create viruses to basically be ready, what's that called? Shoot. Dr. Fauci was a part of it. He said he wasn't, but he got in trouble for it. They do it in China, where they basically create viruses. I
Well,
forgot
that's what the
term.
mRNA thing is that
Yeah,
they
this
take
is what I'm
one
trying to say.
virus, modify it, and then they stick
Right.
it in another one, and that one replicates and does the dirty work or the good
Right.
work
Well,
of it.
but what I'm saying is this: is that we're definitely going to we are going to screw up. We've already opened Pandora's box, and we are definitely pushing a thought processing, and there's no way of closing it. We've already taken the proverbial fire, and we took it from the gods, right? And so we're seeing this level, as it grows, where it's going to turn into and what it's going to be, right? Um, is God come down and scatter us at the Tower of Babel? Right? Is this something that's going to happen again? Do we shoot ourselves in the foot and we see humanity pull back another 1,000 years again and we start over? Maybe.
Hmm.
But here's the thing: do we stop? I don't think we should.
Nope.
Like, we've already stolen the fire. We've already opened up the box. You know what I'm saying? Humanity is curious. It's just, you can't put that curiosity back. Once a teenage boy realizes, wow, she's hot. What have I been missing my whole
What's
entire
that
life?
song? He can't start the fire.
It was always burning since the world was turning. He didn't start the fire.
That giant Australian bald guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But I put it in like this. I think it's real important to pay attention to. Look, as people, we can keep our head in the ground here and not look, and we're still going to get knocked over. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The real skill set comes, and listen, I'm a foster kid. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've had a lot of myself how to get raised. I was a knucklehead, had a lot of trauma as a child. And one of the biggest things that I have learned in the midst of growing through all that trauma and all that skill set that I've had to learn to develop is really just one thing. Like, being able to sit there and say, okay, that's going to be an issue. I have issues. How do I get ready to handle that issue? Versus, I have issues, that's issues, I'm going to go this way, but I'm sooner or later going to have to come back around and circle back to this issue with this other person, this other situation. So it's how we handle the issue is really how we're going to excel. We can't just put our head in the ground, right? I mean, like, mRNA, dude, is going to have an issue. Yes, we've seen great stuff, but something's going to leak out, something's going to happen, and we're going to have to, we need to be ready for it,
All right, Pedro, I think you and I have gone on long enough tonight.
Yeah,
it's been a great show tonight. We really sent a good show and a good message off to our Rumble folks. And all I can say is thank you to all platforms, especially those people that tuned in on Rumble, especially those that donated, Mr. Dr. Fire Chicken. Pedro,
absolutely.
How fast can 3 hours go? I mean,
dude, I can't believe it, bro. It's already hours, man. We've been doing this 6 hours today.
12 hours in the past 2 days, and we are not out of topics to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, and it's fun, legit.
It's fun, but it can't go on forever. But for those of you, for those of you watching tonight, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. On whatever platform you're watching us, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Rumble, thank you very much. We had a great time tonight talking to everybody, getting your feedback on controversial things, on political things, on topics, just like simple things like making 10x on your 10X, stuff baby. Instead of 5%. We're talking about RFK changing the way our foods are made and the stuff that's included in them. We really appreciate everyone talking to us or tuning into us tonight.
Tuning in, talking to us,
all also, of us having a good discussion. Pedro, go ahead.
One last one. All you guys over at Rumble, I see we've had over 160 viewers over there. We appreciate you. Please, we do a live show. Please jump in and interact with us. Love to have you guys. Like I said, we're an interactive group, and you can see Dr. Fire Chicken and also 76 Norton out there, and AI Wolf. Every one of you guys, look, We appreciate you. You guys rock, and we enjoy really interacting with you. So please, next time we come up and we do this, talk to us, log in, create a thing. And even if it's just BS with us, you don't have to go anywhere else. You don't got to share it. If you just want to jump up in here over you guys over at Rumble, more than welcome. Do it for Pedro. Do it for Pedro. Vote for
Vote
Pedro.
for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro. Come in, talk with us. You can make fun of me. You can make fun of my hair, make fun of my nose, call me a dirty Mexican. I don't care. I don't get offended.
Connecticut, so he's a dirty nutmeg state guy.
I came over here illegally because my family came over illegally. Hey, all I'm gonna say, you know, my grandpa came over, or my great grandpa, my mother's side came over from Ellis Island. My father's side came over illegally. Shouldn't have done it. Hey, but I'm here, and you know, and I'm very much right-leaning, thought processy. Keep your gun, and keep your beer close, and your Bible after that, or actually keep your Bible, your gun, and your beer.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We're looking for who's going to get the last comment, the final comment of the evening.
Yeah.
Always a fun time, and we really appreciate. We're missing Jesus tonight. God Almighty wasn't with us.
Right?
I know he was out doing sucker-free city stuff tonight, probably playing video games. Pedro said dirty Mexican, and the viewership just doubled. And he's not kidding at all. The viewership just doubled to 6 million people watching us. We really appreciate it for everyone that's watching. But that's all we have for tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Full Rant Friday. Pedro will be leading the X Spaces talk, where all of us get to talk with each other, including all you viewers, can bring up topics, and all you new people can rant your rant and talk your talk, and mix it up with us.
Explain to him. So if you jump on X, go to DYOR Media Network, and you'll see that I will be creating a X space. And what it is called Full Rant Friday. You can come in, you can talk what ailing you in crypto, or ailing you in things you want to see changed in crypto, right? And so please come talk. I typically will do it at 12:30 and to whenever. There's times we've literally been there for 6 hours, 7 hours, because we just have one rant after another after another. And listen, some people get in at each other. I say, listen, you don't need to be necessarily formal there. You can come and talk. Just don't be a dick to one another. I allow for conversation to happen. Don't say somebody's an idiot. I don't care if you disagree with them.
It's called Full Rant Friday. It's not called Be a Douche Friday. So.
Yeah, exactly. So come on out. You'll see us do it. It'll be fun. And all those new guys over at Rumble, love to have you guys. Check us out over on X. So.
All right, everyone. We're playing the outro music. I can't tell. Actually, I can't tell which music we're playing here. The way I have this set up.
Telegram web. You got to put X up here as well, so people can go through and do our from now on for Rumble when you do in the comment section.
Oh, I can do X. I just when I'm sitting over there on the great machine, I can do it. And I just need to get it set up. Do it here on the great couch machine. Thank you for everyone from Rumble allowing me to produce my flat cushions here, and showcasing my larger waist than I really would be. Anyway, Pedro and I really enjoy the show. I really enjoy everyone that's been participating. So everyone, as I always say, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. On behalf of this great-looking guy over here, Pedro Garcia, and myself, we're so happy to have hosted another episode of DYOR Live. So tune in to us tomorrow on Full Rant Friday, and have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, or see you next week on the show. So cheers, have a great evening, and